All right. It has started. Hello, Wesley.
Hola.
Uh, so this is an interesting one. Uh, well, I feel like it's not interesting because I feel like everybody has a podcast at this point.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoilers. Welcome to the podcast. Hmm. Drinking that water that Wesley recommended.
Always hydrate.
Always hydrate. Um. So yeah. This is what we gonna be talking about, Wesley. We're gonna be talking about uh our weeks, I guess, in video games and some video game news that I probably should have sent you beforehand, but I didn't because this was last minute.
Yeah, good thing I pulled up Google.
Yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, I guess we could get started in our weeks. I guess you can go first, Wesley. What have you been playing? What have you been up to? What's new with you?
So crazy. Uh, Honestly, literally nothing. I've been doing the same thing almost every day, which is getting boring AF.
Such
Uh,
as
Sleep, eat, video games on repeat. Uh,
yeah, that's yeah.
yeah, no, not fun.
I mean, depends who you ask.
Me, not fun. No.
um, anything you've been playing recently, or anything that you're into, or anything you're looking forward to?
Uh, well, recently, um, one of my gaming people friends that I play Destiny with, he gifted me the expansion for Destiny, so I've been playing that a bunch. Other than that, I've started up my first playthrough for Neo, which is pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
Surprisingly, I'm liking it more than I thought I would.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So how you digging Neo? How far are you?
Uh, um, have to start my third mission,
Which
I
one's that
think.
one?
Uh, no idea.
I'm having so much fun. I don't even know where I am.
Dude, literally, I was stuck on the first mission for like a good several hours until I see like people in stage 2 are like level 10, and I'm like, oh, I'm like level 32.
Yeah, Neo's weird from the last time I played it. Like it's crazy to think that like that game was a little difficult. But I feel like it still kind of is, but even then like if you were to get into the DLCs, like the DLCs fucking kick your ass. Like they really come after you. Um it's still genuinely really fun. I mean, it's very different from like the Dark Souls games obviously, even though it's compared to that most of the time.
hmm
Um have you ever played any of the Ninja Gaiden games, the newer ones, like the
No.
PS3, Xbox? No? Okay. Because I think that's the thing with Neo. It's just pretty much Ninja Gaiden combat with Dark Souls like elements.
Ah.
Yeah, because the like the 3D Ninja Gaidens, the ones on the Xbox and PS3, those ones are fucking tough. They're like they were notoriously known for being like really tough games. Specifically, like I think like Ninja Gaiden 2, but specifically the Xbox 360 version. I think it was like called Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, I want to say, because the PS3 got like different versions of Ninja Gaiden, which was bizarre. And so for some reason, some Ninja Gaiden veterans are like, "No, the PS3 versions are easier," and I'm playing them, and I'm like, "Fuck, I can't play this game. It's too difficult." But yeah, so Neo, like, you planning on getting that DLC possibly if you do have it?
If it did come with the version I have, I'll probably be playing it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but if not, I mean, I'll have to see how I like the rest of the game.
Okay, all right. Yeah, because I'm trying to remember like the third location you said you're in.
Yeah, so apparently in terms of like how they do it in Google, the first mission was you in the castle. trying to escape. Second was you're on the beach area
Hmm.
ish, like forest village
Yes,
beach thing.
yes, and then the boss is the
The
thing on the
oh
boat, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
then third area was the vampire chick in the cave.
yes, okay, so that's what I was wondering. Was it the vampire lady? Because I remember the when I played the beta, and the beta was like, oh yeah, you get to play up to like I think the third level, and that's where I actually beat her, which was insane. But yeah, that game is still pretty tough.
Honestly, for the area she was in,
Uh huh.
everything else was hard besides her fight.
Yeah, it's weird. These like Souls games have like weird like level scaling because of I don't know, like some enemies feel more difficult than the actual boss, which is
Hmm.
bizarre. Yeah, I don't know. Have you ever seen any gameplay for the new Final Fantasy game, Stranger of Paradise?
I saw like glimpses and pieces of I think the trailer when it
Mhm.
came out,
Mhm.
or like whatever they showed on YouTube during ads.
Yeah,
Uh, but not really.
nothing. Okay. Cuz it's what I've played. Well, actually there's a demo I think still up on the PSN store. So if you want to give that a shot.
Let's find out.
Yeah, cuz I finished the demo.
Of course.
I finished it. Like I mean, this was like, oh, by the way, I beat Elden Ring, but you already know this. I'm just
Yeah,
announcing this to the
I was
podcast.
there.
You were there at the credits
Yep.
saying my turn now, baby. I was like, what are you talking about? Stop. Um yeah, it's an interesting contrast to play Elden Ring and then play Stranger of Paradise because obviously that is just a Neo like game. I don't know, it's getting into like this weird subgenre of like Neo like games, like Souls like.
Hmm.
But essentially it's the same team as Neo. So to see Final Fantasy go in this like weird direction of I don't know what this game is because a lot of people are saying that this game is either a prequel, a what if story, or a like um some weird thing going on because it's very bizarre and how it starts. It's goofy. Like if you were to play that story and like kind of be interested in the story, it's goofy as fuck, bro. Like your main character is essentially a muscle head. Uh, it's like I don't even know where to begin because I remember seeing the I think not the announcement trailer, but like another trailer that came out that was like pretty much establishing the world, and out of nowhere they start playing Frank Sinatra's "My Way," and
Nice.
it was the most bizarre thing because like you see this anime character walking through like this field of I want to say it's wheat, but it's not wheat, but it's like golden flowers,
Hmm.
and you just hear Frank Sinatra's like "My Way," and it's like what the fuck is going on? Um, and they even play that in the demo. Like I put with like the intro has the main character in that field area to act as your tutorial, and
Uh-huh.
like Frank Sinatra's "My Way" pops up again, and it like cuts before he can even say "My Way." It's so goofy. It's so goofy. Um, but yeah, it's an interesting game because of the fact that it is what's it called? It is a Neo game, but it's not as complicated or as hard because it still has the option of giving you like easy or normal mode, which is nice to see, or
Hmm.
even a harder difficulty. So you have the option to choose a difficulty setting, unlike Neo. Um, but I think it's still fun. It's and is it bad that I like it because it's so trashy? I want to get your opinion about this.
What the? Like, God damn, hold on. Like, what do you mean?
It's trashy in the sense that like some of the visuals look really bad. There are moments where like the game straight up looks like it's from a different generation. Like a generation behind. On
Hmm.
top of that, the dialogue is not atrocious, but it's still pretty bad. Um, and I don't know how to explain this, but it's like the combat is super fast like Neo, but it's like I think that's what's making it up for like a lot of like the goofy shit. Um is the combat itself because it's so fast paced, and like when you have the execution moves, I'm pretty sure you've seen it, right? Like it's your main character grabs one of the enemies and like turns them into crystals and smashes them.
Nope.
You haven't seen it? Okay, so it's
Nope.
essentially that's what happens. It's Neo, because you know how like your enemies have like a what's it called? Like they have if you break down their defense, like they get staggered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stranger of Paradise has this thing where it's essentially the same thing, but at the end you can do an execution. Like Neo had that. You can do like you can hold like the one of the attack buttons. I think triangle. Like you
Nah,
hold it.
it's just when they stagger, you just hit square or triangle and you do
Oh
the.
yeah, because it has the little reticles that are red, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Stranger of Paradise has that where it's you have the circle button as the execution move, and essentially you just grab the enemy and smash them into bits. And with bosses, like I'm trying to think, the boss that I fought that was oh Chaos, Garland, is like the first boss you fight, and you have this interesting moment where like you get to like you break Garland's uh defense, and essentially your main character just grabs him and just like does like a punch, but like one of those like full back like hand all the way behind you kind of punches. It's goofy, like it's incredibly goofy, but the gameplay itself is really fun, and that's why like right now I'm so conflicted on getting this game because I mean it's still technically still $60. um but man, it's I was really digging it. Like I'm still kind of digging it, but yeah, I don't know, man. Like I would say check it out if you're interested.
Hmm.
Um and I play the demo. I think it's still I don't know if there's a point where they're gonna take down the demo, but the demo's still up.
Yeah, the demo's still up. I just added it to the library.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah,
I'll have to
but
download it at some point though.
yeah, you'll see when I mean like the visuals look bad at times because there was legit moments where like I was in cutscenes and I'm like, okay, the cutscene looks good, and then it gets to like in-game cutscenes, and then out of nowhere it's just like, oh, did I accidentally download the PS4 version? It's so weird. It's so fucking bizarre. And I think another funny thing is I was looking on like the Amazon reviews for the game, and there were a lot of people that were complaining about the combat, saying that it was way too fast.
Oh my god.
And I'm thinking, I'm like, man, I'm pretty sure these people have never played Neo, and I think this is like their entry point into like the Neo like games. Yeah, it's fast. That's all I can say. It's a very
Oh,
fast game.
okay.
Um, you said you were playing Destiny, right?
Yes.
Tell me about Destiny: The Witch Queen. Right? Is that what the new one is?
Yeah, surprisingly, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I know my stuff, but you know, I don't really play Destiny. You're the one that usually plays it.
Yeah.
Tell me,
Uh,
what's the appeal? Why do people like this one?
cause they changed a lot. So like in some ways they changed the how like the narrative is told. Um, there's actually story instead of it just being like oh hey go do this cause these people did this and whatnot.
Yes, Destiny,
It's,
known for its story.
I mean before not really.
I mean, there was a lot of like kind of neat things that Destiny kind of put out, but you know, you know the whole thing about me is that like I didn't really get too into it because of the whole fucking grimoire shit that happened with Destiny
Yeah.
1. And like Destiny 2 was also a weird factor because it just like it was the same thing but with some additions.
Yeah, they changed like a lot of that now. Like yeah, you still have lore and like certain like aspects of the game, like your ship has certain lore to, let's say, like the main boss to the campaign
Hmm.
or whatever, or like you have a sparrow that has lore about the the final boss in like a raid or something like that.
Hmm.
So like lore is still like scattered around every like different places.
Yeah.
Um, but like it's a lot easier to access in a way because like you have it in your either inventory or in, like in your little um lore book that you have.
Hmm.
You could just like literally go there, read like the general like gist of what's going on between so and so.
Hmm.
But it's actually good. You have like now they have it catered to like hardcore people in a sense. So you have like the basic um normie just trying to have fun campaign, and then you have the more challenging legendary campaign, which is literally the same campaign except it's a lot harder.
Oh,
Um,
okay. So it's like more of a challenge mode, kind of.
yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
But the good thing is you're still rewarded for playing a harder challenge, um, regardless.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that's fun. I feel like that's more of an incentive for a lot of like the older players. Be like, hey, try this shit, but like more challenging. I guess
Yeah.
I always appreciate that in like games where it's like you already know the gist of this game. Here's a little tougher challenge.
Mm-hmm. Because like
Um.
that was something they put in Destiny 1, I believe.
Mhm.
Or like you had your option to choose the difficulty for the campaign. Um,
Oh.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
think a lot of people missed that aspect.
Yeah. Trying to remember. Destiny 1 was so long ago, and I think I got it on the PS3.
It
Yeah, I
wasn't
played.
like a lot.
Yeah, because I played the PS3 version originally, and then I eventually got the PS4 version, and then I played for a good bit. I'm pretty sure where I stopped was the Taken King, and then that was it. And then I think that was like before Destiny got to like well, specifically Destiny 2 got to like free to play. So yeah, Destiny didn't really hit. Like the gunplay is still okay as far as I remember. Like it's still kind of fun, but yeah, I didn't really get too into it.
Yeah, a lot of people hate gunplay now,
Really?
just for like niche reasons. I mean, sure they're like justifiable, but still,
Mm, gotcha. Gotcha.
like fusions could kill you from like miles away
Hmm.
and stuff like that. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, like what I've been hearing and like seeing is that like Destiny like 2 now is like a completely different game from what it was before when it
Mhm.
released.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean it's good that Bungie is like still trying to like ensure that that game still lives cuz I think they said that like their plan was to have this game for like 10 years. Like they had essentially like a 10-year plan, but I forget when Destiny 2 came out.
Uh, about to
Let me
find out.
see.
Hold on. I think it was like
Destiny 2 came out. Wow, 2017.
2017.
Wow. So in 2027 we'll see where Destiny is. Um
No,
yeah,
I think in terms of like the 10-year plan that was with Destiny 1 and 2.
really?
Probably. Oh, when did 1 come out?
I want to say like 2015.
27. No, that's still Destiny 2. I need 1. 2014.
Ah, that's kind of close.
So yeah, it hits the ballpark of 10 years.
Oh yeah, in 2 years.
Yep.
Damn.
Because they
Those
were
Yeah, no, go ahead.
because like they were saying that the saga of Light versus Dark is going to be ending soon. In terms of
It's
soon, they mean like in Lightfall with the
Destiny became Kingdom Hearts.
yeah.
Light and dark.
Uh,
Light shall prevail.
I mean, at this point, who knows? Because we're using darkness to fight darkness.
Oh god.
Okay.
And then they added like a weapon that's a key. I don't know. And then
Oh
they
my
got involved
god.
with they have this Disney collaboration that's going on now
Donald Duck out of nowhere
uh,
comes.
with a gun. That's
Uh,
oh
just
man.
becomes the most powerful Destiny lore character ever.
Yeah, Donald Duck, canon, Destiny. So
Oh my god.
that's goofy, but I get it. I get it. Yeah, that's the thing is that like I know you're like really interested in like a lot of like the free to play stuff because I mean certain circumstances like free to play is just free to play.
Yeah.
Um, like that's the thing is that like I think with me, my mindset is that like I want to like get involved in a lot. Like I have like some serious FOMO when it comes to certain games. And I think free to play games is like the pinnacle of like pretty bad FOMO because of like the event stuff and like certain things that can happen in like DLC and shit like that. So it's I
Oh
don't
yeah.
know. Yeah, so I think that's why like Destiny didn't really hit home for me because they were like event raids, right? Like back in the
Hmm.
day. And yeah, I wanted to get into Final Fantasy 14, but 14 is not really a free to play game. It's a subscription. But even then like they have like the event stuff and it's just like yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like kudos to people who can like really like plan a schedule ahead of time when like an event happens because I think there was a whole thing that what was it like some people were like I think for like the near automata thing people like essentially like asked for like days off from their workplaces to play the near raid for Final Fantasy 14. So I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, as long as you're enjoying the game, you know, good on you.
Yeah, it's not bad. I could actually like do stuff um that friends were talking about. I could actually like witness what they were doing.
Mhm.
Just kind of sucks that majority of them like are like, oh yeah, we're done with this for now, and I'm like, I just got it, yeah.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks. But are they at least willing to like feel like yeah, I'll play with you? I guess.
I mean, Haller was like, if you need help, like just let me know, cause
Hmm.
like he's been on his Returnal binge very heavily,
Jeez, Jesus Christ.
and it's great, cause dude, if you get if you would have gotten to like where we are or where we going, you
Yeah,
would have been like, oh man, I shouldn't have given this away.
I mean it's technically your game, so I have no words on it.
You should have been like, damn, I should have never given it back.
One of these days I'll probably rebuy Returnal. Yeah, so Returnal was a weird one, but yeah, probably one of these days I'll probably rebuy it. It's just like I gave you this explanation like a couple days back that like Returnal is such a weird one, and I think just overall roguelikes or roguelites are weird for me because of how a lot of them just essentially are like you lose everything, and Returnal was fucking brutal at times because of how fast it was, and you really had to be aware of your surroundings.
Yo,
Um, yeah, Returnal was like a really, I wouldn't say like a super hard time, but it was still pretty challenging because of like a lot of the bosses and you're just getting projectiles thrown at you, and it's I can only imagine how crazy that game goes from like the fourth point on. Because
so you think you had a hard time? Just wait till you get to where I was at. Holy.
where are you guys now? Because you're not in the third biome, right?
No. So, currently me and Haller, we beat Act 1.
Mm-hmm.
After you beat the third boss to finish the act,
Oh, so you're in Act
uh,
Two.
yes.
Yeah, I heard Act
I
Two is crazy.
yes, fucking, you get thrown for a loop. You're like, wait, what just happened?
Mm.
And then bam, Act 2, and you're like, okay, throw yourself in there.
Yeah,
Um, and then the fourth boss, oh my god, the fourth boss, the music for that boss was so good.
I could imagine. Yeah, Returnal's music is like eerily like it's eerie and really cool. It's very creepy. It's essentially Alien the game,
Yeah.
which is weird because there is an Alien game.
I forget. I think Haller told me about this that in a sense, he describes Returnal as an Arrival type game. If you've seen the movie Arrival,
Yes. Yeah.
um,
Kind of.
he's
Yeah. Yeah. Kind of.
he pretty much associates the game with like that type of movie or like that movie itself.
Yeah, I'd say it's like a combination of a lot of like the obviously a lot of sci-fi movies, like kind of like Interstellar, and even though I haven't seen that movie, but what I've seen clips of, it's like going into this weird alien world and not like just seeing everything is just bizarre and fucking weird. And of course, Alien, and then Arrival I can understand because a lot of like the text stuff that you find in the world is
Hmm.
like you have to find like transcriptions and stuff like that in order to translate some of it.
Yep.
And even then, like when you translate the stuff, it's still fucking creepy and weird.
Yep.
So yeah, I get it from that standpoint. Oh, and I guess just explain a little bit is that like Returnal got an update for 2-player co-op, and what is it, the Ascension, the Tower of Ascension?
Oh yeah, the Sisyphus Tower, yeah.
It's what is that? Is that like a challenge tower?
So uh before we get into like the tower thing, so me and Heller were playing, we found out um that like we could do the main story co-op, which was like beyond dope. And then we're like, okay, cool. We died. Um, kind of got tired of the main like loop over it again. So we're
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? Let's try the tower real quick. So we found out that the tower is only single player,
Oh,
um, which is not bad because it had its own separate story.
really?
Yes,
What what is it? Does it go into spoiler territory or is it just something separate from
it's
this?
something separate from what
Can,
I've seen.
do you want to explain what exactly goes on? Because I'm actually interested. I had no idea that it's a separate thing.
I didn't get that far into it. I literally just played it once,
Mm-hmm.
got a cutscene or two,
Mm-hmm.
and then started started helping Haller with his World One or Act One areas.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I think just to explain to anyone that's interested in Returnal, Returnal is essentially a roguelike game that if you die, you restart. You're essentially stranded on a alien planet that's incredibly hostile to you, and the more you progress through the game, you start to like get some lore about what exactly happened to that planet, and I think you get like some background about your character, Selena.
Yes,
Yeah,
Celine.
Celine, excuse me. Um, and yeah, it's it kind of like has a little bit of that like eldritch horror stuff going on, but with
Hmm.
even though like Cthulhu stuff is still technically alien, like your aliens have weird Cthulhu stuff happening. It's very
Yes.
interesting. Yeah, it's like very old god esque because I think like some of the lore stuff even says that they were trying to like contact old gods and stuff like that. But you know, and I didn't get too far into the game. Only I'm like stuck in the third biome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Uh,
how'd you guys do against that Nemesis boss? I'm really curious.
the like the third boss.
Yes.
So what I generally assumed for that fight, since it's the final boss for the act, it scales in terms of player base.
Mm,
Um, so obviously, the more players you have, the harder it
just good.
gets.
Yeah.
Reason being is because when me and him were playing it, one orb would hit us and it would do more than half health. Whereas when he did it solo, um, he was just getting hit for like a fraction of his full bar.
Oh.
Yeah,
Okay.
and it seemed like the damage we were dealing wasn't as strong as if you were doing it solo as well.
Okay. Okay. So it does realize that, you know, it has to have some kind of scaling.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which it
Yeah.
didn't really seem like there was in the first two bosses or like the
Hmm.
enemies in general, but yeah.
It's just with that specific boss, it felt like no, like it knows that it's two people here.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting. Yeah, like even like playing it single player, that boss is still pretty tough. But I mean, with the damage scaling with two people, I feel like might be a little easier. Like my thing is that like does the boss? Well, this is a tough question to ask because it's like, does the boss necessarily aggro at one player and then the other player can, you know, shoot at it from a safety point, or is like the bullet hell kind of like projectile shit coming at you like still knows that there's a second player there?
So how it usually goes is there's you have like the main stage, like the main like fighting area that you're on.
Mm-hmm.
Um the boss usually does a bunch of like stage attacks. So like it would cover like the not like necessarily cover the whole thing, but like it would like sweep projectiles from left to right. And you'd always have to like dodge or like move around to get by it, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But then they would have these projectiles that would target one specific character, while the
Okay.
other one just avoids the sweep attack just to shoot him.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that. If, like, it's essentially like an army. You remember the game Army of Two?
Mm,
Have you ever played it or heard of it?
vaguely.
Okay, so Army of Two had this whole system of like the aggro system where your companion can like um aggravate enemies so fire can get to that character and your other player can like essentially flank the other characters, the enemies, and using that aggro system of like, all right, who's gonna try to be the distraction for the enemies while the other guy goes to actually kill them. So that's why
Mm,
I was a little curious if like with the co-op stuff with Returnal is essentially just like someone aggroes the enemies slash bosses and then the other guy is able to shoot them more safely.
nah, I think that would have been too easy.
Okay. 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 Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
Returnal's weird. Returnal's weird for me. I don't know. Like yeah. All right. Well, I mean,
are you streaming this, by the way?
no. I'm
Or
just
are you just
recording.
recording?
Yes.
Okay.
No. No
Um,
stream.
because I don't know if like you care about the story at all.
Oh, Returnal?
Yeah.
Kind of, sort
Ah,
of.
okay.
Yeah, kind of. And I don't really want to get too spoilery with it, especially in the first episode of this podcast.
Mm, okay.
Yeah. I mean, eventually we're going to figure out like a game that we both played and can talk about it in more of a spoilery sense.
Mm.
Which I don't know. I don't know if we can do that in this episode because I can't really think of anything that we both played that we're like, yeah, like we completed all of it, sort of.
Oh yeah, we never compiled the list.
Yeah, we never did that. So who knows? Maybe in like the next episode. Because I mean, I've obviously played a bunch of shit that I can say, oh yeah, I can talk about it and the ending and stuff like that. But you haven't played the same stuff I have. So
Yeah.
um yeah, so that's cool. So you've been playing Returnal, Destiny, and Neo. Anything else that you've been up to? Any like movies or shows or anything that's caught your interest?
Not really. I mean, um, since what is it, season 4, I believe, season 4 or 5 of forgetting the name real quick. Hold on. Since the season 5 of Last Kingdom um came out, I started uh watching season 4, basically where I left off at, to see like what the story is and how it progresses.
Mhm. What is Last Kingdom?
It's essentially like a Viking show
Oh,
ish, like a Viking Saxon show.
did they come out with a spin-off series? It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah,
Because I saw something that at Netflix was like advertising that's like something related to Last Kingdom or some other Viking show.
they might have, I think.
I don't remember what it was exactly. How is that? How is Last Kingdom?
It's good. It's very um, how would you say this? Like talkative, I guess.
It goes more into the Viking politics.
Yeah, so like it basically did the whole thing with how the Saxons were coming in and pushing the I forgot what they call them. Um yeah, I don't know what they call them. Fuck.
It's
But anyways, like they like push them out saying that they're like
their land.
barbaric. Hmm?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
No, no, wait, what'd you say?
No, I said that they're like it's not their land anymore, essentially.
Yeah, I mean even though they were originated there,
Hmm.
the English were just like, "Oh yeah, no, get the fuck out. Like this is our land now."
Oh, is it
Oh,
essentially?
the Danes. There we
Oh,
go.
okay, yes, the Danish.
Hmm.
Yes, that's right. Uh,
Um, was it Danes? God
I'm
damn, I don't
pretty. I'm
remember.
pretty sure it's the Danes. What was it? The Danes came to their land, or was it the other way around?
I think it was the other way around.
The other way around, right? Okay. Yeah, I don't really know too much about like the Vikings and that Nordic stuff. All I know is like the mythology and shit like that.
The good stuff.
Still highly, if you're like really interested in like Norse mythology, I highly recommend Neil Gaiman's Norse mythology. It's just pretty much like a compilation of different Norse stories. It's so good. It's so good. If you can find like the audio version, I like just listen to it.
Mm,
Uh
yeah.
yeah. I told you like one of my favorite stories in that is pretty much just Thor and Loki fucking with his family. Like this just poor family and like they're like
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
okay. Yeah.
they're just huge assholes the whole time. And it's just like this thing of like, man, like these dudes, like it's like they're just. I can't wait to punch the shit out of them in God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah. That's one thing that like people don't get is that like those two were known to be like massive assholes.
Oh yeah, no, like it's pretty much all mythology in the sense that like basically almost every god from whatever mythological sense has always just been an asshole.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, like it. Trying to think. Yeah, the story with Thor was interesting, and um, even then, like the death of Balder was like another thing of like Loki's just an asshole.
Yep.
Like he's just an asshole. So yeah, and Greek and like even Greek mythology as well. Like a lot of those gods, not fun people.
Oh yeah, no.
It's not fun people because I remember I was playing Hades and uh oh no one of the viewers on my Twitch channel he was talking about like some of the myths of like certain gods and stuff,
Hmm.
and he was like he's like no that god's wrong because it's like in the mythology sense like it was just this crazy bullshit, and it's just like yeah that makes sense. um
Speaking of God of War, did you hear that they, I guess, initially had a release date? Like they put out an initial release date?
I did hear about that, but it got moved, right?
No, so it's like confirmed, or I guess Santa Monica was like, yeah, the game's gonna actually be coming out in 2022. So this year.
Oh shit.
Uh,
Okay.
just no specific month date.
Oh wow, they're actually near the
Yeah.
end. Hmm. That's crazy to think. I'm still very interested to see where this game goes. Like obviously I was a huge fan of, was it 2018 that game came out? The
Oh,
so
God of War. Yeah.
I was about to say the first God of War, but I'm like no. This is like God of War like 7 technically.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I'm so glad they didn't just call this one God of War 2.
Oh my God.
The
Stop.
fucking ridiculous bullshit. I was a huge fan of that game. You know, I still like the God of War PS2 and the PS3 game. Like God of War 3 like God of War 3 visually fucking broke my mind when I played that on PS3. And like seeing the behind the scenes on how they did that is still fucking crazy. But overall Kratos as a character was like kind of the worst cuz he was so irredeemable. And I think that's also another perfect example of like he was just an asshole. like the rest of his family. Um,
So I was watching the whole story of Kratos.
mhm.
Um, so like you know how he was basically like, oh, this is all like Ares' fault that this happened.
Yeah,
It actually is.
that's all Ares' fault.
Yeah.
Okay, explain, because I'm hearing this as you as the Kratos advocate.
So you know how his wife and daughter were found in the church
Yeah,
after Ares was like demolished his village to the ground?
yeah,
Yeah, they were placed there. They were put there.
yeah. But even then, like I was saying, is that like Kratos is still an asshole. If his family wasn't there, he would have still just killed innocent people.
Yeah.
So it's like even then, he's still an asshole. And then
In that
his
sense, yeah.
yeah. So
Obviously.
so his motivations are even just. I guess they're somewhat justified because I killed my family because it's Ares. But it's like, dude, you still would have killed innocent people.
Yeah.
Ares, as he says, drenched in his family's own blood.
Mhm.
That's why it was so stupid. But I think that's what I liked about 2018, because like 2018 really goes into like Kratos's mindset, obviously being a little bit older and a little bit wiser, and
A little bit older. Okay.
a little bit older, bro.
Dude aged so much from
He's
30s.
technically a god. So
Well,
that
yeah, but he's like super doughy.
what are you talking about, Doughy? He just has a beard. The dude's jacked as fuck. What are you talking about,
No,
Doughy?
duh, but he looks like he's aging very fast.
Because he has a beard. Because before he had that dumb goatee. Now he has a beard. The beard obviously adds doughiness and age, even though the dude could still look jacked as fuck.
No, but even like he says it during the game, he's like, "Oh, this is getting a lot harder than it used to be."
I'm so doughy and old as fuck. Yeah, that's what he says. His famous lines in the beginning of that game.
Yeah, exactly. See?
Uh, yeah, but like I still enjoy the fact that like he still understands what he did, still fucked up a lot of shit,
Hmm.
and he still tries to like be somewhat of a father figure to Atreus, and I think
Yeah,
that's what I really enjoy about that game, is that like, oh, this character actually understands his past and his current situation right now,
for
and
so many years.
yeah, and has to be an example for this boy, and understand that, like, teach him right from wrong.
Yeah.
That's all it is. Yeah, I think I really enjoy that. I'm really interested to see where Ragnarok goes, because obviously Atreus is Atreus is like probably like 14, 15.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously how 2018 ended, with that little uh that mural on the wall when you reach the end.
Yeah.
I don't want to spoil it, for those that are so interested, because that game came out on fucking PC. But
I mean, the game's kind of old, but sure.
yeah, I don't know. That's also another question I want to ask you. But yeah, I'm just very interested to see how that ends, and like if the God of War games go somewhere else, or even if it's still called God of War at that point. So yeah, my
Ah,
uh
no, go ahead.
okay, no, because like my other question was like, where do you feel like is a good point to talk about spoilers for like a game or a movie or a TV series or a book?
Um, I mean, when did it release on PC?
Well, God of War,
Yeah.
January, I think.
No, not there. I need PC release, not PlayStation release. What's
I say like January or February.
January 14th.
Yeah. So even then, it's still basically kind of new to a lot of people, especially the PC audience. Even though it's technically a 3-year-old, excuse me, a 4-year-old game.
Yeah, so it'll be fine.
Eh. Um. Yeah, Ragnarok seems cool. I guess. um. So yeah, anything else? We were talking about the Viking show, is Last Kingdom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn. After like that whole, I need to watch that God of War thing again.
Which one?
Like the lore of Kratos.
Oh, have you
Um,
played?
y-
Have you played the PSP games?
no.
Okay. Did you know about his brother Demos?
Yes.
Okay.
They talk about that in
in
the
the
video
in
too.
the lore, yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, it's obvious they have to talk about that, and I think
They
that
talk about
also,
like all too, which is crazy.
yeah, and they pretty much established that Kratos is the son of Zeus. So
Yes.
yeah, that was basically that point of the PSP game. I forget what the other one is. Uh, there's Ghost of Sparta and is it Chains of Olympus? The PSP games.
Probably.
I forget which one's the one that talks about his brother.
Yeah, it goes to Sparta and Chains.
Okay, okay. I have those on PS3. I just have not booted them up. Oh jeez. Um. Yeah. Anything else?
About about
Yeah, your week or whatever you're into.
oh not really.
Okay, my turn then. Talking about you. Now it's time to talk about me.
Fun.
So I really haven't been playing anything else. I've just been like starting up a lot of games, or trying to get back into some stuff. Obviously the biggest thing was Elden Ring, which
Mhm.
by the way, I streamed it on twitch.tv/the_writers with a Y_den, for those that are interested. um, uh, yeah, Elden Ring pretty much took over my whole gaming season, I guess I want to say. It's such a phenomenal game coming from someone that really likes the Dark Souls games. Uh it's just a crazy game to play. And I told you about this, that like it's one of the most like inaccessible Souls like games. And it's crazy to see like reports and like reviewers being like, "Oh yeah, it's so easy to get into." And it's like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" No, it's not. Like it's one of those games that like really demands your attention.
Yep.
Um, but yeah, of what I streamed, I actually uploaded, before we started this. I uploaded the last video of my stream of me beating the actual game. Um, it's it's a huge time sink. I mean that's most video games, but like with this, it's like the biggest time sink because of the amount of secrets and secret bosses and other stuff that you can find. Um, it's it's essentially FOMO the game. Did you see that clip of I think this was posted on our Discord of someone finding a secret wall that actually like has health?
Oh, the 9999 health.
Yes,
Well, yeah.
yes. I was like, what the fuck? And this brought up like a huge question of like what else has health? Like that's not an enemy.
Mhm.
And it's just like this scary fact of like what else could have been missed. Like you think you've seen everything and you've probably seen of a good amount of the bosses, but there could be a chance that there is more elsewhere that you haven't seen. And it's like that like I said, it's just this whole FOMO thing of like, fuck, I either find this thing or I'm probably gonna get spoiled on it somehow. um yeah, it's a really good game. It's one of these games that I don't know if I can really spoil because of how weird and vague it is. I mean,
Mm.
obviously the last boss you can probably spoil because of just like it being the last boss, but even then it's, yeah, it's, the story's cool, the lore is cool. Obviously from a lot of the Souls games, the lore is the shit,
Yeah.
but I can see that like the lore stuff can be really a hit or miss with a lot of people. because for me personally, I'm really into like narrative stuff and where the narrative goes in certain games. Um, and with this game, you're just so captured by the world and all the crazy shit that's going on here, and even the weirder shit that's going on in the world, like the fucking alien shit that just appears. Um, that I just want to know more. And it's crazy to think that this game's like whole hype was that it had George R. R. Martin, who is the writer for the Game of Thrones series,
Mm.
the Ice and Fire series, I believe it's called, or the Story of Ice, whatever, Game of Thrones. Um, and that was like the biggest selling point, was that like, oh, George R. R. Martin came up with the story, and in reality, he really didn't. He had some say in the world building, but then it just became the director of the Souls games. What was his name? Miyazaki. I forget his first name though. It's essentially just his game. Um, Hidetaka Miyazaki. Yes, Hidetaka Miyazaki is the director of the Souls games, and yeah, the whole shit about like George R. R. Martin being the story creator is no, that's no. It's just it's Miyazaki. It's Miyazaki's whole thing because of it's so vague. It's so fucking vague and weird with the world, and yeah. I just want to know more. I'm just waiting for more lore videos, to be honest, of like where like or like who some of these characters are, like some of the bosses you fight. Um yeah, I technically beat the game 3 times, I want to say, because I got all the trophies.
Okay.
And I realized I kind of fucked myself, because if there ever is a DLC for that game, I pretty much have to start from not zero, but kind of from the beginning before New Game Plus. So I have to go in with a
Oh
new
yeah.
character. Yeah, because like I'm on New Game Plus Plus, and yeah, is it plus plus? Yes, plus plus. Um, and I feel like if I were to tackle on a DLC, it's gonna be rough. So yeah, I have to really think about that if any future DLC is planned. Um, yeah, Elden Ring is a really good game. I think it's still one of my Game of the Year contenders, but I really haven't played anything else from this year because I'm trying to think. I don't really think there's really anything else earlier this year that I can say I was interested or really wanted to play. Like
Hmm.
this month specifically was either Stranger of Paradise, but Stranger of Paradise is another Souls game, um, and Ghostwire Tokyo, but Ghostwire Tokyo is a weird one because I'm seeing like a lot of like review outlets talking about how that game is very repetitive and it's very kind of meh, and even then the story is very bare bones and basic,
Hmm.
and that kind of got me a little disinterested. Even though the game like looks visually cool, just everything else kind of being meh is. I'll wait for a sale technically. Oh, Dying Light 2 was another one, but what I've been hearing about that is just I don't know if I can time sync again. um
Especially time sync 500 just to get platinum.
yeah, it's like I don't know, man. I did Elden Ring already. Like Elden Ring is like I don't know how many hours that took me, but it took me a good while. Um yeah, and so yeah, so far GOATY contender Elden Ring. Um but I've pretty much tried to like go back to like certain games and stuff that I started up, or just stuff that I probably forgot, like um my 3DS. uh I forgot I was playing Etrian Odyssey, uh
Hmm.
the Millennium Girl, which is a 3DS remake of the first Etrian Odyssey game.
Hmm.
You play Persona Q by any chance?
No.
Okay, so Etrian Odyssey is basically a turn-based JRPG, which its main focus, well, not its main focus, but like one of the things is that it's a first-person dungeon crawler. That when you move around the map, you essentially have to like mark certain things. Like you essentially have to be the cartographer of your journey,
Mhm.
where you're drawing like where this path goes, what's hidden behind here, and stuff like that. It's really neat. I kind of like it, because I kind of got into like the Etrian Odyssey esque games from Persona Q, but I didn't go far into Persona Q. Even though the music in that game was kind of cool, I'm still kind of interested in Persona Q 2, but you know, like I said, that's a while from now.
Yeah.
I probably should get it before the fucking eShop closes on the 3DS. Because like physical copies for that game is like, it's gross, man. It's gross to find physical copies for 3DS games. But anyways, yeah, Etrian Odyssey I tried to get back into. Essentially the story of Etrian Odyssey is that you're in a like a high fantasy world. Um this forest has like these weird creepy monsters and like this weird was it like this weird event happening where monsters are essentially just coming in, and your character is basically voiceless. Um and you meet all these other characters, and you meet these like three other characters that are like adventurers, and you
Mhm.
stumble onto this like weird future technological cryopod where this girl is in that, and she has amnesia, and she doesn't know what exactly is going on. And you know, I guess there's hints that like there was a civilization beforehand, or possibly that like an apocalypse happened. That's what I'm assuming. But yeah, you kind of dive in a little bit more into the game, where it's like just go into the dungeon area and clear that shit out. So far it's been pretty okay. I kind of enjoy it. um I don't know if the game has to come to a point where you have to grind, but I mean that's most JRPGs.
Yeah.
uh, and what else? Oh, I tried to start up Bravely Default because I keep seeing sales for Bravely Default 2. um Bravely Default's cool, kind of. It's another JRPG. I've been playing too many JRPGs. And that's the thing, is that like I have to figure out which one I'm going to spend more time with, obviously, because those games are pretty long, and especially being on the 30s, it's I just came off fucking like Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse, and that game was pretty long, and that's on 3DS. So Bravely Default's kind of cool, where it's essentially a lot of people were like making comparisons to like the older Final Fantasy games,
Mhm.
of like how like the mood and the tone of it is. Um, I kind of like it. It's also very high fantasy. It's turn based as well. Its combat system is one of the things that tries to make it a little bit more different, where you have the brave and the default options.
Oh my god.
Essentially, I believe default, you block but you charge for an attack, and then the brave option is you using that charge for the attack. It's better to see it than have me explain it, but that's pretty much the key of what I got from the combat, is that like there's going to be moments where you really have to think about like when you're going to use the brave and the default options.
Mhm.
um but yeah, the story is like, it starts off kind of interesting, where you have like these like more noble characters of like this vessel oracle priestess girl who is trying to contain this darkness thing, but it doesn't go well, and the darkness kind of escapes. And then you have like this wizard dude in like a bar. He's very charming, I guess. And then this warrior girl that's able to wield a samurai sword, and it's like, okay, you get these cool characters. And then you get the shepherd boy, and the shepherd boy is the most tragic character at the fucking start of the game, where like he's just shepherding his sheep with his little brother in his very boring town, and then all of a sudden this fucking void of darkness happens and essentially just makes his village a fucking crater, and he's the only survivor. Like that's how that starts, and that's your character that you play as. It's like you get this like cool shit about these other characters of like, I'm the chosen one, essentially, and then you get the shepherd boy that's like, everyone I know and love is dead. It's
Jesus.
yeah, I was like, holy shit. I think it's so terrible. So I didn't get too far into the game because obviously like I am putting more time to Etrian Odyssey. Um so it's like I either have to choose one or the other, because there's gonna be a point where I'm gonna fucking like get confused of like which one has the brave or the default one.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'm kind of interested in going back to it. Probably after I'm done with Etrian Odyssey. And then I tried a little bit of Final Fantasy Seven. Jesus, excuse me. Final Fantasy 8. With Squall or Leon, as the Kingdom Hearts fans know him as. Uh, Final Fantasy 8 is weird. That intro is pretty good though, but Final Fantasy 8 is weird. Yeah, I didn't get too far into it. I just got like to the beginning where essentially your main character has like this little sparring match that goes a little too far with this other dude, and they essentially scar each other's face. Excuse me, plural. But yeah, I didn't get too far into that. And yeah, besides that, I really haven't been playing any other like video games on my console or anything. Just like smaller stuff that I'm trying to get back into. I remember I was talking to you about like trying to complete all the trophies for like Dying Light, but it has like co-op shit that I'm just not
Oh
interested.
yeah,
And apparently there's one for like 3 players, and it's just like, okay, no, I don't feel like doing that.
that's dumb.
Yeah. Um so yeah, video games not too crazy. Uh Movies I've actually gotten a little too crazy with. Movies and TV shows. I've actually made a list of stuff that I watch like per month. So I have stuff from like January, February, and this month. A lot of them were like rewatches of some movies that I watched. The last thing I watched was Little Miss Sunshine. It's a comedy. It's a drama comedy, a dramedy. It has Steve Carell, Toni Collette, Abigail Breslin, Paul Dano, Greg Kinnear. A lot of like like a lot of actors that you've probably seen that are like, oh yeah, I've seen that person in something else. It's a very good movie. I think it's still one of my favorite movies. Because it's a dramedy, um, and it's a dramedy that knows when to really do drama, and the whole basis is that this family goes on a road trip to this beauty pageant for their daughter, and pretty much it's basically all about the journey rather than the destination. And even then with the destination becomes a learning point for them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still one of the movies I really enjoy. And then the one before that was The Green Mile, and the one before that was The Shawshank Redemption, which was my first time viewing that movie. Green Mile is still another favorite of mine. It's still a very good movie. It still makes me fucking cry. Especially that beginning scene. Where your main character kind of your main character is in a retirement home, and this movie comes on and a specific song starts to make him cry. And if you haven't watched the movie, you're just like, why is this old man crying to this fucking song? And then like the second time you view it, I was tearing up because I'm like, oh fuck. Like, because it hits you so hard on your second viewing.
You're just there, sitting in your feet, like,
I'm crying to this old man crying to to this song from an old movie. It's so goofy. But I think it's one of those movies that like do you know the actor Michael Clark Duncan? It's a big guy, big African American guy.
If hold on, let me look at his IMDb real quick so I
Yeah,
can get a glimpse of who you're
yeah,
talking about.
yeah. He's one of these actors that he's one of these character actors that like you've seen in like other stuff, and it's just like, oh, he's just a really big dude. Do you remember the movie Daredevil with Ben Affleck?
No.
Okay, never mind. Okay, just look up Michael Clark Duncan. But basically, I feel like this role of his in the movie is like one of the most sympathetic characters that you can watch, and you just like
This guy, yeah, okay.
Okay, so you know who Michael Clark Duncan is. Okay,
Yeah.
he is the most sympathetic character you can watch in that movie. That's the thing, is that like this movie really tries to sympathize a lot of people, specifically the prisoners.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it just hits you hard. It just hits you hard. Obviously, the one goofy thing is that like a lot of like the evil characters are very evil. You got a prisoner that is a murderer and a rapist, and then he's incredibly evil, And then you have a prison guard who's also evil because he's just like this little shit that like only cares about moving up in the world.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Michael Clark Duncan as a character is just like, man, it just makes me cry, and it makes me very sad at the fact that he passed away, because he is a very good actor. And it's such a shame too. But yeah, The Green Mile, then The Shawshank Redemption was another movie directed by the same director as The Green Mile, Frank Darabont, who was the director of the first episode of The Walking Dead. Frank Darabont, I really like the way he films things, like his direction, but overall, I still, I still like the narrative more than like the actual cinematography with a lot of movies. With Shawshank Redemption, that was a very good movie that I was not expecting for it to be that good. Because that's the thing, is that like a lot of people really I wouldn't say overhype, but it's just become overrated with a lot of like the top 10 movies on IMDb. And I think Shawshank Redemption is on there, but it's still genuinely a very good movie, narrative wise, and like to see, and it really humanizes a lot of those prisoners as well. Like that's the thing, is that movie shows you the grays of jail, and it shows you the grayness of humanity itself, of like can you really truly define as evil, and what can you really truly define as good. But to be fair, like there are moments where like their characters, like the Green Mile, that are just evil as fuck. But yeah, if I think they're both on Netflix, so if you're interested in those movies, they're very good. I would say watch The Green Mile. Oh, and Forrest Gump. I finally saw Forrest Gump.
Oh, Jesus.
The entirety of Forrest Gump.
Now you know who the true villain is.
The true villain is Jenny. There is no gray zone there. There is no gray area. Jenny is the villain.
Oh, God.
Yeah, Forrest Gump is a weird one, because obviously, like, I know I was supposed to call Tom Hanks Forrest Gump, but I know Tom Hanks is playing a character that obviously is yeah, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't want to say the R word, because
No.
no, it's not the definition to call him by, but that's what they call him in the movie. He's different. He's special, I think I should say. Because that's how his mother describes him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing, is that like when you watch that movie, he truly is special. And that the one thing that fucking surprised me is the director of Back to the Future is the same director as Forrest Gump. I didn't know that. But you can kind of tell, because the movie is very it's very colorful, I should say. But yeah, Forrest Gump is a special person because of the amount of circumstances that he comes into life, and like the people that he meets, and like just living life essentially. It's such a, I don't know what to call Forrest Gump a good feeling movie, because there are obviously a lot of moments where like it's really sad and really depressing at times.
Well, you could say it's good feeling in the way he chooses um to like live past that, I guess.
Yes, but at the same time, you have to realize that this is coming from the mindset of someone who is very simple-minded. There we go, simple-minded.
Yeah.
He's very simple-minded, so it's like, but that's also the other thing, is that he understands. He's not an idiot, even though people call him that in the movie, and they try to establish that in the beginning of the movie, where at a young age his IQ level is very low, and his mother has a whole confrontation with the school, and there's that one scene that I laughed my ass off, where the I think the principal of the school, essentially, the mother tries to get Forrest into school by offering sex, and the principal and Forrest's mother do it, and all you can hear, and unfortunately Forrest is like outside of his house on his swing set, and all you can hear is just the dude moaning, and it's like, it's the most goofy moan. And Forrest, like the guy leaves and he's like, "Oh man, boy, your mama really cares about your education." And then he turns around and Forrest starts to mock him with his moan. He's like, because that's how the guy was moaning inside the house. The
Oh
guy
my
just
god.
leaves. Like it's one of the. I started laughing my ass off. But that's what I'm saying is that like he is simple minded, but he's not so ignorant to the world around him. Like he
Yeah.
understands. Um. So I really enjoyed that movie. Jenny is the villain, but no, it's like that's the
uh,
thing is that like I don't want to say Jenny's the villain, but there are moments where it's just like, man, I feel like they could have probably wrote Jenny a little bit better because obviously she is Forrest's love interest. She is a person that is very complicated, but there are moments where it's just like, lady, come on, just talk to him. And then the end of the movie where it's very sincere, but it's also really depressing on how it ends. I don't know if I should just give the ending of Forrest Gump. I mean, it's a very old movie at this point.
yeah.
Fuck it, I'll just say it. Essentially, Jenny dies because apparently it's revealed that she has HIV. Um, she has AIDS, I believe. I think it's just straight up AIDS.
Mm.
Um,
I think they say like she caught it when she was
she was doing
like
drugs.
yeah.
She was on hardcore drugs. She was doing like heroin and stuff like that. Um, and it's also revealed that she had a baby and a baby is Forrest's. So you have this very sincere moment where they get married. Lieutenant Dan shows up and Lieutenant Dan is like, I'm a different man now, I've changed. um I have a wife now, I got prosthetic legs, and it's like, okay, at least Lieutenant Dan gets a happy ending. And then Forrest and Jenny live together happily before eventually Jenny passes, so it just becomes Forrest and his son. And I believe the son is played by, oh my god, what's his name? Haley Joel Osment, Sora.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, but like very tiny Haley Joel Osment.
Hmm.
Um, so it's one of these things where it's just like, yeah, it's a very sincere ending, but on top of that, it's just like I feel like they could have done something more with Jenny. Obviously they try to give her a little bit more story with her addiction of drugs and just trying to be a hippie at the time, while Forrest was fighting in Vietnam.
Hmm.
But yeah, I still recommend it. I won't say Forrest Gump is a bad movie. It's still a very good movie. But yeah, those are like the four movies that are coming to mind. I've watched like other shit that I can probably like give you a list of, but it would probably take up the whole time. Um, as for TV series, I finally finished Narcos Mexico season 3.
Oh my god.
Uh, I really like Narcos. I really like Narcos. I like Narcos. The first iteration of the show where it was based in Colombia. Talking about Pablo Escobar. You know, Narcos One. It's weird to call it Narcos One, but essentially, Narcos Colombia. Uh, its whole focus was on Pablo Escobar, and then the second season was on the Cali cartel, which were the people who were basically the other drug criminals besides Escobar, but Escobar was so famous, that essentially they were like in the shadows until obviously when he died, they became the sole proprietors of like the cocaine in Colombia. Um, it's I like the historical stuff. Obviously, there are some historical inconsistencies because I think I saw an interview with Pablo Escobar's son that he was like, I don't really like the way the show tries to humanize my dad because my dad, did really corrupt and evil shit.
Hmm.
And that's the thing also is that like he tries to explain that like he didn't have a huge like he didn't really have a bad relationship with his dad, but he understood what was going on with his dad's quote unquote business. So he would confront his dad, but he wouldn't say that his dad was like pure evil to him, but he understood that his dad was not a good person.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's like I said, it's still a good drama, history drama kind of show. Um, and then yeah, they finished the Cali Cartel stuff and from that series, and then what surprised me the most was that like, oh yeah, here's Narcos Mexico, and I'm like, oh, this is interesting. Where is this gonna go? And Narcos Mexico is, well, it's in the 70s, so it's before the rise of Escobar, and obviously it's in Mexico, and Mexico had a huge thing with marijuana at the time. Uh, so they actually talk about this in uh Narcos Colombia, that the reason why the DEA is going after a lot of essentially doing the war on drugs is because of a death of a DEA agent by the name of Enrique Camarena, I believe his name, or they call his nickname was Kiki Camarena. Um, that he was a DEA agent that was working a case. He was eventually captured, tortured, and killed. And they found his body, so pretty much the American government was like, we're going to move in on these cartel guys, and we've essentially established our war on drugs. So that's how the first season of Narcos Mexico is establishing that this is where the war on drugs started. And then the second season kind of like dives into the main villain, um, Felix Gallardo, I believe his name is. He's played by Diego Luna, also a very good actor. But yeah, Felix Gallardo is the head guy of like all of the Mexican cartel, and he tries to essentially create like a syndicate for them and make it like a union, but at the same time there's tension between like the different families of the different cartels. And how season 2 ends is essentially they capture him. I mean, this is the thing, is that like, how can you spoil history? They captured him, and his little note to your main hero protagonist guy is like, you basically like took the head of the family, not the head of the families, but like the thing that was keeping everything in balance. He's like, you've essentially fucked up everything, that now it's going to be a power struggle, and a lot of these families are going to fight. Like, he essentially establishes that like, I'm the one that was keeping the balance, and now you fucked that up. Wesley?
Mm.
Okay. I thought you
What's the name? You're
I thought,
fine.
okay. Like, it's hard to tell cuz no camera. Uh so um yeah, so pretty much season 3 is like the power struggle between the families. Like, they establish El Chapo. Um they talk about one of the essentially the main character. It was originally Felix Gallardo. Um it was essentially him, but they move on to a different protagonist by the name of Amado. And Amado uh was a real guy. I forget which cartel he was with, but his story is very tragic.
Hmm.
Um in the sense that I thought they were playing up for like drama, but when you actually see the actual reports, it's like, holy shit. So basically the government was making a crackdown on him, and they got really close to him. So his last resort effort was to basically change his face.
Hmm.
And when they eventually found him, he was already pronounced dead because his heart gave out during the operation.
Hmm.
So it's like, damn, dude. Like, he got that desperate to get out. Um and then I think the one note that the show tries to talk about is about the circumstances happening in Mexico where a lot of women are kidnapped and murdered.
Hmm.
And they try to do that with one particular character who's a corrupt cop, who tries to go after the serial killer and tries to figure out about this case. And yeah, pretty much his story leads to the point of like, it's still not a phenomenon, but it's still a thing that happens in Mexico where women are kidnapped and found days later murdered, and no one can figure out who it is, or if it's not a situation of like whether or not they can't figure it out, it's just like whether or not they care,
Hmm.
because they just pretty much established that either some of these girls are prostitutes or some of these girls are, quote unquote asking for it. It's become one of those things where like the trust of the police in Mexico has become very, you know, very
Same.
tense. Yeah. So Narcos Mexico, very good. I highly recommend it. You know, I'm trying to think if I watched any other Netflix series. Ozark was still very good. I watched the first part of the final season. That's a very good show. I tried to get into a lot of like Korean shows, which I'm trying to still get into.
Hmm.
The last thing I watched was We Are All Dead, I think it's called. It's a zombie show with these Korean high
Oh,
schools.
mm-hmm.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Yes. I think it's based off a manhwa, Korean comic.
Hmm.
It's good. It's goofy though. With some of its story stuff, like it's very, yeah. I'm very picky when it comes to certain narratives and stuff, but overall, it's still a fun time. And then everybody was talking about Squid Games back in the day, back
Oh
in
yeah.
back in the day of earlier this year. Um, Squid Games is still, I think, very good. Obviously, it is a passion project by the person who wrote it.
Hmm.
Because there was like reports saying that like the guy was essentially just going broke, and that's essentially the inspiration for Squid Games is that like how desperate do you have to be to do such immoral things when you're that broke, and to talk about society and rich and poor, basic human shit, civilization shit.
Yeah.
And it's great for him that this show became like a huge hit. uh but yeah, like I think that's basically it of like what I've been into and what I've been doing. I do plan on starting Guardians of the Galaxy eventually, and there's some stuff on my Twitch channel that I do plan on playing. I put up a list in the Discord of like stuff that I've picked out. More JRPG bullshit, but like I think I'm probably gonna try to choose like an action game to like separate the JRPG grindiness with more action game stuff. Oh yeah, and then fighting games, but fighting games is a different story. Um, we'll probably talk about fighting games in one of the topics that I have, but that's mostly a thing for me. Um, so yeah, that's it. Anything else, Wesley, from your week or anything like that?
Not really. It was super random though.
Mm-hmm.
About like the whole Squid Games thing.
Mm-hmm.
Did you know that the phone number in one of the cards that they had in the show was someone's actual number that people kept calling to try to get into the
Yes,
show?
I heard about that. Did you hear about the thing about Squid Coin?
What?
So someone tried to make a cryptocurrency based off of Squid Games, and essentially it was a scam. It was a fucking scam. People got scammed.
So stupid.
It's so stupid. Um, so yeah, I guess we can move into a little bit of like video game newsy stuff, I guess. Stuff that I just want to bring up that seems pretty interesting. I think this is going to be something like some of the oh, excuse me. I just kicked my fucking table and just shifted everything. It's probably going to be something I'm probably going to bring up in like some of the podcasts, like some new stuff, but obviously we're going to try to be a little bit more well prepared. By well prepared, I mean me sharing stuff with Wesley. um, but yeah, I think one of the topics that is interesting and kind of nuts, Gran Turismo 7. Wesley,
Yep.
what do you know about dem racing games, specifically Gran Turismo 7 or Gran Turismo in general?
That it's a racing game supposed to be PlayStation's competitor in terms of Forza Horizon,
You goddamn right. Well,
in terms of like realism.
I would say Forza Motorsport is the better comparison because Horizon is more arcadey.
Right, in open world. Yeah, 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 okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. Gran Turismo has always been like simulator. So, did you hear this shit about Gran Turismo 7?
I
Uh,
mean, I heard that it got like garbage reviews, like 1.7 on Metacritic and everything like that.
yes. Do you know the reason as to why? It's
No.
so okay. So Gran Turismo 7 has a really, really huge blemish. I wouldn't even call it a blemish at this point. It's a fucking, it's gross. Okay, so they sent out review copies to a bunch of reviewers, and a lot of reviewers gave it pretty good scores for Gran Turismo 7. When the game was actually released to the public, it came out with an update. The update essentially made it impossible to grind for credits in the game, and it also made shit a little bit more expensive, specifically the cars. And that was a thing that a lot of reviewers were not expecting to see, that the game just had this update that made shit pretty bad.
Hmm.
And with this update, it also made some of the more luxury cars, because this game has like you can buy used cars, but like the prices fluctuate. It's doing this weird simmy thing where it's like for real world prices, and I'll get into that in a bit, but um it's more luxury cars, or like the more crazy sport cars that you would see,
Hmm.
um can run up to like $200 in real world money.
Jeez.
So that's where it gets kind of bad, where it's like it's a video game. I don't feel like spending $200 on a digital thing in my fictional game where I don't really own this thing. And then besides that huge nonsense with the cars, the game is also online only,
Mm.
and you cannot do anything offline. Like the game stops you from accessing it at all. So a lot of people have made this complaint to Sony and to Polyphony, the creators of Gran Turismo, and saying that, you know, you're basically trying to rob us, and on top of that, you basically made this game inaccessible. Um, Recently there was a statement that came out saying that there was a couple statements. The director of Gran Turismo came out and said that the reason why they made the prices like that for certain cars is because they wanted to establish real world aspects to this sim game, which a lot of people were like, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is a video game. Why the fuck do we want real shit in our video? Like, we want to drive these real cars, obviously,
Yeah.
but why the fuck are you implementing real economical shit into a video game? That doesn't make any sense." So there's that. And then he came out with a statement recently saying that he's going to try to rectify this, and by rectifying it, for anyone that um has had an issue with the credit stuff, he's planning on giving credits as a way to compensate it. And it's the amount of credits I saw was like for $10, essentially. The $10 worth of credits. So even
What's the conversion for that though?
what happened?
What's the conversion for that?
I
Is it
think
not
it's
like
like
different?
I think it's like 10,000 credits technically, but it's like $10 essentially. Really, in all honesty, it's not enough to get a like one of those luxury cars. Maybe you can get like one of the used cars that you've been eyeing for, but even then, it's like not really anything. So this is the question I want to ask you Wesley. How do you feel about games, specifically simulators, that are trying to make the game feel more realistic in the wrong senses?
Kind of pointless.
Good to know. All right, moving on.
Cause
Yeah,
like if you're trying to make um like a simulated like racing game,
mhm.
at that point you might as well just like put it in like an actual rig and not have it on like consoles or anything.
Yeah,
If you're gonna like go that aspect.
I mean, I like racing games. The sim racing games are, they're okay with me. I don't really get too into them because I'm not too much of a gearhead. Um, I like the arcadey stuff mostly, and obviously I was one of these people that was thinking, should I get a steering wheel to play my arcadey racing game? But it's unfortunate because like I was actually kind of interested in Gran Turismo 7 because it looked really neat, and a lot of people were saying that like, oh yeah, there's a lot of like I kind of wanted more for like the feature aspect for the PS5 because obviously
Mm.
I have a PS5, and it's unfortunate in the sense that it's flooded with these huge red flags. Like it's a fucking ocean of red flags, and that really kills it for me, to be honest. That like a game that a lot of people were anticipating for, a lot of the gearheads specifically, is just riddled with microtransactions and this crazy always online DRM, which doesn't make any sense. It's a single player game. I don't know if there's a multiplayer aspect, but even then, why do you have to be online all the time? It's essentially
Yeah.
that. It's essentially the Hitman 2017 game, 2016, the newer Hitman games, because those three games had to be online, and that's what a lot of people were like fucking losing their minds about. Specifically when like Hitman 3 was like Epic Store exclusive, and when they were trying to like send their save files over the cloud, and it just became this whole mess of just like, why does this game have to be online? It doesn't make any sense. Um, yeah, it's unfortunate. It really is. I don't know. I don't know. Like the latest statement, like I said, was the director coming on saying that they're going to try to rectify the problems, but at the same time, it's like really 10,000 credits. Like you just like you're so fixated on having the prices be what they are. Like it doesn't make any sense. On top of that, this is a fucking like $70 game. So I don't know, man. Like that's the thing that really like holds me off from buying like games day one is because the fucking $70 price point. Because I still am not a huge fan that like PS5 games now are fucking $70,
Hmm.
and it doesn't make any fucking sense, especially with like stuff that's like backwards compatible. Like or if it has a PS5 upgrade, like it
I
just
like the
doesn't.
whole thing that they were trying to do with Horizon.
Yes, and when people fucking backlashed against that, essentially Sony, to give more context, Sony was uh basically going back on their promise that I think they're essentially Horizon and God of War were kind of supposed to be like launch games. I'm probably wrong on that, but Horizon was promised to come back. Well, excuse me, was supposed to come with upgrade versions for the PS5. Because obviously getting a PS5 now, it's still pretty hectic and still not great. Um, and yeah, like I said, Sony was trying to walk that back, and people basically were like, "No, motherfucker, you promised that. You have to be true to your word." And they put out a statement saying that, "Yeah, we'll do it," but it felt very reluctant at the same time. They were like, "But this is going to be the last time we do this." And then I think with God of War Ragnarok, I think that's supposed to be the next game that's supposed to have a PS5 upgrade as well for the PS4 version. Um, yeah, it's crazy, and I told you about this that like it's funny to see on Reddit that like people are like PS5 users are essentially paying $10 extra for ultra settings,
Hmm. Hmm.
and it's like yeah, that's technically true, but it's like I don't know, man. Like I can understand the fidelity stuff and like the frame rate and the performance, but really at fucking $70, and then you're on top of that, you're gonna try to charge me more for like microtransactions and shit like that. So it's like nah, I'm no thanks. Who knows? Maybe I'll try to get like the complete version of this game, when it's not shitty. But so far, I've been trying to like get into GT Sport, Gran Turismo Sport, because it's the PS4 version I was playing a little bit of
Hmm.
on my PS5, and it's fun. Like I said, I'm not a huge gearhead, but it's still relatively fun. Doing the racing and stuff and driving these cars. But I think I'm probably gonna go back and try to play Forza Horizon 3, because I was really enjoying that game, and obviously it's more arcadey. But yeah, man, that's bad. That's bad, especially for that rating on Metacritic.
Yeah, no bueno.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. I mean, another game that's similar to that point is Chocobo Racing, but Chocobo Racing is still. Do you know anything about Chocobo Racing?
Not at all.
Okay, so Chocobo Racing is a game that came out on the Switch. It basically has the same issue as Gran Turismo, where you can buy points for with real world money. And in order to get Cloud as a character for this racing game, you have to spend money and you have to spend a crazy amount of time and challenges that you have to do. It's bad. It's just overall bad. And like I said, a lot of people have come out and said that no, we're not gonna fucking do this shit again. Um, this is coming from Square Enix. Square Enix has pretty much had they've had a bad year, and it's only March. It's kind of bad. So yeah, Chocobo Racing, Gran Turismo, not good.
Jeez.
Racing games are starting to look not great. So, the next topic that I have that I don't know, there was actually something that came to mind. I thought about it. A little bit of Square Enix. So just to
Hold real quick. Hold on. I need to go to the bathroom.
okay, go to the bathroom. Fine. Beck, you did your peeps and your poops.
Sure.
Okay. So Square Enix. This was a topic that was for originally our first episode, our planned episode before everything went to shit. Wesley.
I mean, this is still technically our first.
No,
episode.
no. It was supposed to be another episode. Anyways, so one of the topics that I sent to you was Square Enix's talks about kind of going into the NFT world. I don't know. What is your standpoint on NFTs, Wesley?
That they died out super fast and no one's really talking about it.
Yeah, NFTs are they're pretty much the worst. As someone that does drawing as a hobby, I start to look at some of that art and I'm like, man, this is shit. Like, there really becomes a point where I'm just like, I could draw better than this. Or I'm that mediocre that I could do NFTs, but I don't want to.
You could.
I could, but I don't want to. I don't, because I like this planet, and I don't want to. Don't want it to die. But yeah, NFTs are fucking dumb. We both can agree on that, I guess. So Square Enix is pretty much looking at the NFT market, and they released a statement, I believe, in January, saying that, basically on New Year's, saying that they're interested in the blockchain NFT technology because this is the fucking crazy nonsense bullshit that a lot of video game companies are jumping onto. Ubisoft is doing this with Ubisoft Quartz. Konami has already established their Castlevania NFTs, which I'm pretty sure some of them sold for crazy amounts of money. Even then, the Ubisoft stuff is still existent, but it only works on their network. It's weird. It's very weird. Stalker 2, this upcoming game for the Stalker series, their developer was talking about looking into NFT, specifically NFT NPCs. It was excuse me. It was one of these really just fucking ridiculous shits, but they backed off from that. The Stalker 2 developers, they backed off. So yeah, Square Enix has gotten into this weird standpoint, which I think this is just a speculation coming from me, but I think Square Enix might be in a hole financially because of the fact that there was a report that came out saying that Guardians of the Galaxy did not reach their financial expectations when it sold. So they consider that game to be kind of a failure, which is unfortunate. And that's the thing with a lot of their games that they've been shipping out is I don't know what their expectations for a lot of their games is, but dude, like they considered a lot of like the good stuff that came out to be financial failures. And it's really It's really unfortunate because I don't know. Like if they're in that much of a rut, like looking to NFTs is just a crazy thing to even think about. Because I think like the thing that sold the most recently it was Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Hmm.
So it's just like I I don't know. So yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy was considered to be a failure. NFT talk, and oh god, there was one more thing that I now lost my train of thought. Ah, Babylon's Fall. So this is where this is why I feel like they're kind of in like a financial hole, and this is where I feel like this is looking bad, and this is looking bad for Platinum Games as well. So Babylon's Fall is a four player co-op game, action game, excuse me, developed by Platinum, published by Square Enix, and it's bad. A video that I highly recommend is checking out Power Pack, uh, Power and PAK, on YouTube, where he talks about Babylon's Fall, being a failure, being a bad game, and he shows examples of gameplay, and it's not good. It's really not good. I tried. There's a demo out for it, but literally the starting screen asks you to sign up for a Square Enix account. And if you don't, the game essentially says, all right, guess you're not playing then. And I was like, all right, cool. Guess I'll just delete it off my console.
That's so stupid.
So what you see from the Power Pack video is the game is not good. It visually looks bad. Like I thought Stranger of Paradise looked bad at times, but this game looks terrible. Like this game looks like a PS3 game. Like that bad. Um and that certain scalings for bosses, like damage scalings, don't coincide with single player and co-op. Like the game expects you to be in a co-op team. So it in the Power Pack video he shows an example where he's fighting a boss solo and it's virtually impossible to beat the boss by yourself. So, yeah, and on top of that, Platinum Games is not doing so well either. Like they're kind of also in a financial rut, which there's also speculations that they might get bought out, with now that everybody's buying everything. Like we're living in a time where fucking Microsoft bought Activision Blizzard. So that's nuts to think about, and like now Sony is like trying to buy other companies as well. So it's only a matter of time to see whether or not Platinum Games gets bought by someone, but yeah, it's a shame because this game is not going to do financially well, and yeah, it's also a stain on Platinum Games because Platinum Games has some games where they're hits and misses. Like obviously Bayonetta is really good, Bayonetta 2. Um, fucking Nier Automata is amazing. I haven't played any of Astral Chain, but some people like Astral Chain, some people really didn't. But like with now Babylon's Fall, it's just like fuck, that's not good. It's not good. It's very bare bones when it comes to like their actual combat. So yeah, I just wanted to get that little thing across. It's just like Square Enix is a weird company. I think I could say that. That it's a weird company that I nobody knows where it's gonna go, and I think everybody is very worried as to where it goes. Because I'm still very interested in Chapter 2 of Final Fantasy VII Remake,
Hmm.
because I fucking delved the fuck into Final Fantasy VII specifically. So it's a shame to see where that goes, and I'm very nervous about fucking Final Fantasy 16 because that's their newest one, and there hasn't been a word about that game. But I think the director came out and said that like they're still working on it. They're still working on it, but like it's gonna be a while before anything else. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Wesley. What are your thoughts on Square Enix's expectations and their financial reports and their NFT involvement?
I mean, what's I'm gonna call it? Like, sure, I get that the whole like, you're in a rut. You got to do what you got to do. Try to get what you can. Um, but like, not like everyone succeeds from jumping on bandwagons. To be honest,
Yeah.
um, like some, like if they try to, it just doesn't end up working in their favor to the point where like um they can't like really continue.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I understand it. Yeah, I think that's the thing about video games in general. It's just like every company's trying to jump on like what's hot and what is the latest thing. Like
Yeah.
Battle Royale was like the biggest one.
That's probably still a thing that's still going on.
And I just saw that fucking Fortnite has no more building.
Apparently, I think it's just like for a season thing. Because
Okay.
from what I looked at the like the seasonal launch trailer, it seems that like quote unquote resistance or whatever that's going on with them.
The storyline.
Um, they I guess have something that quote unquote disables building
Mhm.
from what it seemed like. Because in the little video cutscene thing, one of the quote unquote enemy characters throws something, and it does like little shock waves, like, kind of like an EMP in a sense.
Yeah.
And all the like buildings that I guess players created or whatever, while fighting just disappeared, and it was just all like on everyone was literally on equal footing.
It's so stupid.
Yeah, I don't know.
God damn it, Fortnite. Uh
I mean, I'm still tempted to check it out now to see like how it is
I
and
mean
like if it's easier. I don't know.
I don't care. Like I remember playing with you guys, that was fun, but like I don't care about battle royales. Like the one battle royale that I thought was kind of okay was the Black Ops was it Black Ops 4?
Oh yeah, 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 okay, yep.
I enjoyed that, but like now what I've been hearing is that like that is like a hacker's dream apparently.
Hmm.
So it's like even then I don't care. Like I don't care anymore. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's so bizarre. But yeah, like bandwagons and shit. It's unfortunate that a lot of companies are like trying to get on a lot of them. And this is also the interesting thing about like a lot of people who obviously are interested in video games that they don't want this shit to happen. Like nobody asked for this.
Hmm.
But for some reason somebody at the top is like, no, 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 this is a good business idea. This a lot of the customers will probably enjoy this. And it's like everybody's like, no, no, don't do this. What are you doing?
Honestly, that kind of reminds me of like that like um that board meeting meme where it's like you have the higher ups talking about ideas, and then you have that one guy who's like has like more common sense and is like, oh, how about we do this, and then
Yeah.
just throw him out the window.
Yeah. That was also the other thing is that like when the Ubisoft shit came out, a lot of like the like devs and people working underneath were like, nobody fucking asked for this.
Hmm.
We don't want to do this. And a lot of the higher ups are like, oh yeah, but think about the amount you will get. And it's like, no, that's not going to us directly. That's going to fucking whoever's up top
Yep.
if they get that money. So it's like obviously the little guy doesn't get anything from this. I don't know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. Um, and speaking about video game companies, Wesley, did you play Cyberpunk 2077?
Yes.
What do you think about Cyberpunk 2077?
I mean, from what I played, it wasn't bad. I liked it. From I got it during launch. Um, Obviously it's had its bugs.
I was about
I
to say
didn't really.
you played the PS4 version.
No, the 5.
Wait,
Well, I bought it when I got the 5, I think.
no, the newer.
No, yes, I got the PS4 version, but I played it
Yes,
on the 5.
I was
Yeah,
about to
yeah,
say,
yeah, yeah,
dude, the PS5 version came out this year.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I played it on the 5. I didn't see the bugs or anything that people were talking about.
Mm.
I mean, sure, my game crashed like 2 or 3 times. Big whoop, whatever. Um, but I didn't see like any like morphing through the world, literally riding your bike in the water
So
or
so
anything like that.
so essentially, you just had it works for me moment.
Basically, yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, there was this one funny moment where one of one of the characters was basically using the Force on her cell phone while talking to you. It was literally just like floating around as she was like moving her hands and everything. I was like, nice.
Jesus.
Um, but yeah, I put it down. I haven't really played it.
Hmm. Did you buy it
Um,
physically or digitally?
I bought it physically at first,
Mm,
and I stopped playing it, so I returned it or
gotcha.
sold it, I guess. And then bought it again on sale when it was like $10 or something on PSN.
I should have bought it when it was like $10. I regret that.
And then I played it like once after I bought it, and I was like, I don't remember how to play this. And then I was fighting enemies, and I was like, they're really hard.
Great. Fantastic. And then you put it down again.
Yeah, then I put it down and then never touch it again.
Uh yeah, I played the trial that came out, the one that they did, and then I accidentally bought it, and then I contact Sony and be like, I don't want this. Like I'm gonna wait till like a better sale happens, because at the time it was like $30, and I'm like, I don't feel like spending $30 for this game that I'm probably not gonna play immediately.
Mhm.
But what I played with the trial is that it was okay. Like obviously it was the upgraded version for newer consoles.
Yeah.
I liked it. I liked what I played. I was interested to see where it got to, because I literally got to the Johnny Silverhand section where it's like the establishing of like Johnny Silverhand doing this crazy rebel mission. Um, but yeah, and then literally as I was planting the bomb for the mission, the game
Mhm.
was like trial over.
Oh my god. Wait, so it was a time trial, not like
Yeah, it was a time trial. It was like I
Sh-
think for 5 hours. And
oh god.
the problem was is that if you're on the pause screen, the counter doesn't stop.
So it's real time.
Yes. So there were moments where like I had to go check my cats and like clean their litter boxes, and I paused the game and I went downstairs and I'm doing my shit, and let's say like a half an hour passed by. I'm like, okay, time to go see the game, and then I see half hour is gone from from the timer, and I'm like, fuck.
That's so dumb.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. But like I said, what I played was kind of fun. But like I said, I'll probably wait for like a sale
Mhm.
at some point. But the reason why I'm talking about Cyberpunk is CD Projekt Red is announcing a new Witcher game.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Yes, did you play The Witcher? The
Uh,
Witchers.
I played it, yeah. Never got like far into it.
Well, don't worry. There's going to be a updated for the new consoles version.
Nice. So can I
So
play the 4 on the 5 and have better graphics and stuff?
yeah,
Dope.
yeah, that's the intended version for The Witcher 3, I believe. Um, I beat The Witcher 3 back a long time ago. I beat it on the Xbox One. I remember I borrowed it from you, but then I gave it back because I was like, I don't think I'm gonna be playing this anytime. And then I eventually played the 3. I did play the previous games. Uh, I
Mhm.
I played Witcher 2, which was okay. I played Witcher 1, which is the most goofiest fucking game you can play. Because its combat is not. It's for weird people. It's for fucking aliens. And then I got stuck with one of the bosses, but then I just checked out an ending, and it's just like, oh, okay, that's how it ends. Cool. And then The Witcher 2, you play as Geralt again.
Mhm.
um, it was okay. The Witcher 2. I don't know, something about it, like this atmosphere felt really boring. And then The Witcher 3 came out, and The Witcher 3 was like the biggest surprise. But I played it like way later on because I got the complete version, which came like with like, the rest of the DLCs. And at that point, The Witcher 3 had like a lot of bug fixes because at launch, I believe that game was not good. I think it didn't essentially have the Cyberpunk problem, but it had some bugs that a lot of people were pointing out, saying that sometimes this game is not playable.
Mhm.
But yeah, The Witcher 3 overall is a fantastic experience. It is one of those time sink games. Uh,
Definitely.
Yes, because its main story is very long, and then the DLCs are crazy, not super long, but still a good amount of time. I really like that Blood and Wine DLC. I think it's one of the best DLCs out there.
And then you have Gwent, which is its own thing.
Gwent is weird. So Gwent is weird because like the standalone game is different from the in-game rules of The Witcher 3. if you
Mm-hmm.
understand what I'm saying. So like there are some changes that they made, but I never played the standalone Gwent game, so I don't know. And then I remember I tried playing the Gwent game in The Witcher 3, and I think I'm pretty sure I didn't understand the actual game itself because I just kept getting my ass whooped. So I was just like, I'm not gonna touch this. um, but it's cool. Like The Witcher 3 overall is a very, very big game. It's one of those games that I feel like is also a trend for a lot of open world games now, that it's like it has to be very lengthy side quests, because that was The Witcher 3 where a lot of the side quests were pretty lengthy.
Mm-hmm.
But for me personally, a lot of them were not bad. They were very, very interesting, and they did have effect. And like some of the world stuff, like for example, if you help out a villager and the villager ends up in a town that you're at some point, he can be helpful, or kind of stab you in the back, something like that. Like that the NPCs have kind of more of a thing to do.
Yeah. Instead of just standing there and be like, "Hey, traveler,"
Yeah, yeah,
and walking into walls.
yeah. Uh, so yeah, the new Witcher game has been announced. They showed the logo. It is not the wolf necklace. It is the symbol of the cat, I believe, which is a different school of Witchers. A lot of people were speculating that this might be the other character Ciri. This might be her game. How The Witcher 3 ends, I can say it's not going to be Geralt. Because how The Witcher 3 ends is very definitive that it's not Geralt. The game is fucking like 8 years old, bro. Uh, but that's the thing, is that like I don't want people to think that, oh, another Geralt game. It's like, no, it's not gonna be Geralt's game.
Yeah.
So it's like it's gonna be someone else. If it's gonna be Ciri, cool, because I think they kind of established that in the end of The Witcher 3.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's someone else completely, then that's also cool as well. Because either way, CD Projekt Red has like the intellectual property of The Witcher. Like they bought it off the author.
Yeah.
That story is like one of the fucking goofiest and so one of the funniest. That like the author of The Witcher like was so against video games that when they asked him for like the rights of The Witcher, he was like, just fucking take it. I don't give a fuck. This thing is not gonna sell. And then it became like a smash hit, and like he missed out on all that money.
He's like, "Oh man."
Yeah, because he was a fucking asshole. Because he thought like video games were like for subhumans, essentially. Not verbatim, but like he was a dick about it. Um. So yeah,
Goes him.
yeah. So they pretty much said that this new Witcher game, I believe, is gonna be a new character. Oh, whoops! I pressed the wrong thing. Hold on. Okay. This new Witcher game is going to be, um, it's going to be a new story, obviously. I'm trying to find this fucking thing. God, it's so bright. Hold on. News. So yes, they put up A New Saga Begins. This came out the 21st of March. Because I'm reading the thing right now. Yes, it's a different symbol. It's not the wolf. The main thing that they pointed out, actually, it's not going to be using the Red engine, the engine that was used for The Witcher 3 and for Cyberpunk. It's going to be using Unreal Engine 5. So
UEFA, let's go.
yeah, exactly. So a lot of people are kind of happy about that. That like, it's going to be using a different engine, because of what happened with Cyberpunk in the beginning was really gonzo. But Cyberpunk, the reason why Cyberpunk was so bad is it's just a plethora of different things happening. But it's good to see that The Witcher is coming back, even if in a different game. As a person that really liked those games, and I read one of the books, it's cool. Yeah, fuck it. go bring the Witcher back. I don't know. Just don't make it Geralt again, because then it's just like, all right, fine. But if they do a different character, I'm down. This is like the DMC situation for me personally. So like, if they do another Devil May Cry game and it's not just Neuro, it's like, all right. Like, it's like, just pass the torch already, Dante. You've been holding onto the torch too long.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really neat to see that. It's really neat to see that. So yeah, another topic, just one last thing that I want to bring up, is this is a tough topic. The topic of workplaces in video game companies. So we're living in a post era of Microsoft buying Activision Blizzard after the whole thing that happened with them, Activision Blizzard, of the lawsuits, the abuse, the sexual harassment, the misconduct of a lot of things. A lot of things. I think I could say that in general. It's just a lot of things happen over at Activision Blizzard, and Microsoft kind of gave them a cop out, essentially. So now, because of that, it's obvious to say that no workplace is perfect.
Not even close.
That's an obvious statement. And especially in video games, it's not a perfect environment. You're going to be working a lot of hours. You might get underpaid. There's also obviously the whole thing with harassment, misconduct, leadership, poor leadership overall. I've worked a couple jobs that really had poor leadership, but it doesn't extend to that point where it's like that of the whole Activision Blizzard aspect. So there was a video that I saw not too long ago by People Make Games on YouTube. They are investigative journalists for video games, and their video that was very interesting to see was the video on indie game developers, specifically for 3 companies. I'm trying to remember what the companies are called. One company I believe is called Mountains, which were the developers for Florence, which was this indie game about relationships. Okay. Yeah, Florence was a indie game that came out. It was on the Switch. It was on on the PC as well. I never played it. A lot of people liked it, as far as what I've seen from reviews and stuff. But the allegations and a lot of workplace stories that came out from the development studio Mountains is pretty bad. I really recommend watching that video. I'll probably send you a link, Wesley, so you can check it out. But it is very interesting to see where their investigation goes. Specifically when he talks to a lot of like past developers for those companies. So it's Mountains that developed Florence. The other one is Fulbright. I'm trying to remember what Fulbright did. Hold on. Fulbright, Tacoma. That's the other one. Fulbright did Tacoma, which is that space game. You've probably seen the cover of it, but it's a lady in space. That doesn't help point it, doesn't help point it down, but you've probably seen it. But they did Tacoma, and then the other company is Funomina, I believe it's called. Yes. Funomina published, I don't know if it published, Well, Funamina is behind the game called Watam, which is a game directed by the director who did Katamari Damacy. The game where you're rolling a ball everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's that director that made the game. And yeah, to listen to these stories about their workplace conditions and essentially the cycle of harassment that a lot of these people had to go through is really disheartening to hear, especially when it's an indie game studio. Because what is your impression of indie games in general?
I mean, I don't really play them as much as I should.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if one like does actually stand out to me, I will end up playing it,
Mm-hmm.
uh, regardless of like time.
Yeah,
Uh,
like I don't know. Is it weird to call Supergiant like an indie studio? The people behind Hades and Transistor and Bastion, because like they make really good games, but they're not really that small as far as I know. But like they're not a huge company.
they're like
Um,
somewhere in between.
yeah, like they're kind of an indie darling, quote unquote. Um, but when you think about like indie studios compared to like big budget video game studios, I personally, my thought was that, like, oh, like well, how come everybody just doesn't work in an indie studio, because it seems way better, obviously for financial reasons,
Hmm.
because some games don't get developed.
Yep.
um but it's like indie studios seem a bit better because it seems a little bit more creative, obviously, because that's where a lot of indie games are. They're a little bit more creative. But that watching this video, you start to see that the creation aspect of that point of indie games is also a detriment to a lot of those workers. Mountains was a perfect example of that, where the director behind Mountains, I believe his name is Ken Jung. Hold on. They're based in Australia, in Melbourne.
Hmm.
I'm trying to remember the gentleman's name. Excuse me, Ken Wong. Um, yeah, it's a messy situation where one interview with an employee was talking about how Ken was obviously the creative leader behind the whole game, but his creativity led to a point where he became patronizing um to a lot of his staff. And if anyone came up with an idea that they tried to shoot across Ken, he'd essentially shoot them down and make them feel stupid in a way. And it's this thing where it's like, oh, that's horrible. Like when you really think about it, that like your boss is turning you down, but not in the way that you would expect in a professional setting. It becomes this whole mess.
Uh,
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not laughing because of like what you're saying. I'm laughing because it's like a first person experience with that. But yeah, go on.
Somebody called you stupid
Not in those words exactly, but like
in a
uh,
workplace setting?
essentially.
Damn, son. Damn. Trying to think if that's ever happened to me in a workplace setting. Not really. But I worked at a place for like 2 years that was like just bad management, and it wasn't even at a point where like the workers felt dumb. It just felt like management was really dumb. But that's all workplaces. I feel like that your higher up is gonna look dumber than you at
Yeah.
times. Um.
Speaking of that, sorry.
Mhm.
So you know how like obviously like your managers and whatever could like write up people that are under them.
Yeah,
So shouldn't we able to like normalize writing up managers?
we can make complaints. The job that I worked at the post office. For those that don't know, I used to work there. Um, Essentially, you can. talk to a union leader or an HR representative, but at the same time, HR representatives are not really the person you can talk to because they're not really in it to help anyone. They're in it to help the company. So even then, it's like you're essentially talking to no one in a way.
Yeah,
Where
that's what I'm saying though. Um, like your write-ups still have the same leeway as management's write-ups would have towards you.
I would think so. Like a review would have to happen
Yeah.
for those people. Like I said, like that's why I feel like unionizing is a good idea for a lot of workplaces, and I think in the video game industry, I think it's also something that they should do, especially with the overtime and the amount of like ridiculous shit they have to go through. Um, they should have a union. Most places I feel like should have unions, so they can counteract against management because, like, obviously this is a cycle of abuse that is happening, and no, like everybody knows, but nobody talks about it. It's just like, come on, man. Like, I think this kind of also leads to the other thing is that like with Activision Blizzard, there was a talk with Raven Software wanting to unionize, but they eventually got denied. And it just went nowhere after that because a lot of video game companies aren't looking for places to unionize because they feel like unions are going to disrupt the workplace, which doesn't make any sense.
Hmm.
But I think what unions are going to do is going to call out a lot of these people higher up and be like, what are you doing? And that's, I honestly think, is what they don't want. So yeah, I don't know. The stuff with mountains is pretty sad. Same thing with Fulbright, the Tacoma people. But I think the one that still really sticks with me from that video was the one from the Watam people, uh from their CEO. Essentially, she was basically leaking personal information during like work meetings and shit like that, like people's personal shit. Like for example, like a death in the family or like relationship issues with their significant other, like just personal stuff that she would just say in like meetings and shit. Not only in just meetings, like with other video game heads. So this got to a point where like a lot of those people that were in that company like didn't want to deal with her, let alone if they tried to look for another job, the person that they're trying to talk to, their CEO already probably talked to and probably leaked out some personal shit. So it just became a point where like they felt stuck. Um there was an interesting thing that happened with the director of Watam where he didn't want the CEO near him because he wanted full creative like reins on his project because she was trying to butt in into the whole thing. Yeah, it's bad, but I recommend the video because it is a very interesting watch, and like I said, it's work a lot of workplaces are not perfect, and it's unfortunate that like the thing that a lot of people try to escape to, obviously being video games, you know, not even indie developers are perfect as well. Like they have their own set of horrible circumstances and situations, which is it sucks. It honestly it sucks. You know? Yeah, not good, not good. But yeah, the video is called the channel is called people make games, but I forget the full title, but it's like an investigative report on abuse in indie development studios. I believe that's what it's called. It's a long title, but um, I believe that's what it is. I'll send it to you, Wesley, so you can check it out and see it for yourself.
Cool. I'll probably
Yeah,
forget, but yeah.
yeah. Don't worry, I'll send it. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the news stuff. I mean, besides that, like besides ending on a bit of a downer, another downer. You see that Harry Potter?
Oh,
the
the Harry Potter game?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think it looks okay.
I was talking to Tyler about it because the day of the state of play, I missed it by like 3 hours,
Mm.
and I was like, oh shit, because me and him were on a call at the time, and and I think we're playing League or something, or about to, and I was like, oh yo, the Harry Potter thing came out today, or was supposed to be today,
Hmm.
and so we spent like what is it, like 20 minutes or so watching the video, and then um immediately when I saw like at first I was like, okay, cool, dope, this looks like really nice, like well designed and everything. And then once I saw combat, I was like, this is gonna be another like um whatchamacallit, like Batman, Shadow of Mordor type of game where you have that one spammy like square attack, and then you have like your triangle counter plus like your other spells and whatnot.
Yeah, I forget who's the publisher for this.
Warner
Is
Brothers.
is it Warner Brothers? Yeah, right. It would have to
Yep.
be. Okay.
hmm
Yeah, because the people behind it, I believe, is Avalanche.
Uh,
Uh,
I don't even remember the name of this game.
Hogwarts Legacy.
There we go.
Yes, Avalanche Software. Um, yeah, Avalanche. Avalanche is a weird one. Cause what did they come out with? Did they do Rage? I don't think so. I think it's a,
Disney Infinity,
yeah, they did a
Cars
lot.
2,
Yeah.
Cars 3.
Oh my god, they did Dragon Ball Z sagas.
Uh,
What the fuck? They were behind Mortal Kombat Mythology Sub-Zero? Holy shit. Who the fuck did Rage 2 then?
they did Chicken Little. Yeah, I remember Chicken Little. They did Tack and the Power of Juju? No way.
It is Avalanche. Am I crazy?
They did do Reach too.
Yeah, I was right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they could do open world, but Rage 2 was a weird one because I got a little bit into it, but I didn't get too far into it. But what I saw of Rage 2 from other people is that like it's very meh. Like it tries a little too hard for like that Borderlands quirkiness, and Borderlands
Yeah.
Borderlands is a different story. I've told you about my experience with Borderlands 3. Like like I don't even know where the fuck I am, and I'm already tired of that game.
Borderlands 2 will forever be my favorite Borderlands.
Yeah, Borderlands 2 is still pretty good, but that's one of the things that's like, will it still be good if I try to go back? Like, will it still hold up?
Borderlands 2, probably.
Yeah. Hold on.
I mean, just recently I thought about playing 2 again, because with the whole Tiny Tina thing, their whole game that came out this past week. No, Friday. Um, since I can't play that, I might as well play the 2 and then eventually play her Assault on Dragon's Keep.
Oh yeah. But wait, is that's just the DLC from 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is weird too, because it's also that humor that I don't like. Ugh, Borderlands.
Yeah.
Oh god, Borderlands. Such.
Like I'm trying so hard not to watch like any gameplay or anything for it.
I mean, what I've seen of
Like,
it is neat, but like I don't feel like spending fucking $70 on Tiny Tina right now.
yeah.
But that's just me. Um, I think. Uh, yeah. So yeah, Hogwarts Legacy is kind of neat from what I've seen some of the gameplay. Um, am I gonna get it? Maybe, maybe. I like the open worldness of it, that you can like
Yeah.
grab a broom and go flying around.
But then
Um,
that brings up the question is like how open world is it going to be? Because
yeah,
like from
it's
what they showed, you could fly around different places.
mhm, of the world. Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but is it like just set places or is it like actual like free range open world?
Eh, yeah, I mean, who knows? Did they mention that they're gonna show any more of it during that state of play or no?
Like after the state of play, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, because I mean, they showed a lot. Like they showed
Yeah.
a lot. So it's like even then, you know,
Yeah, they
who,
showed off like the school grounds. They showed off, I think it was what Hogsmeade or something like that.
yeah, they showed like, oh, check out how to make potions, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay, I guess I now I know how to make potions. Where's Snape? No Snape. This sucks. Where's
So what they
where's
said with that is that it still takes place in the world of Harry Potter, but
yes, but like
not at the time of the
of the
actual Harry
movies.
Potter movies. Yeah,
Yeah,
or books.
like years and years ago, right?
Yeah, years before. But there's still some names that you'll remember from the movies and
Yeah,
books,
yeah.
that
Like
they reference in Legacy.
like like Dumbledore's gay lover.
Yeah, oh my god.
Where's Dumbledore having gay sex? Where? Where is the portal where the professors teleport their shit away? Bro, that fucking J.K. Rowling shit is just, oh god. It's crazy at the fact that like this series has like now tried to push themselves away from her.
Yeah.
It's so bad. I've never seen someone just like fall apart. Like her career just fell apart on Twitter, live on Twitter. Um, but yeah, it's kind of nuts. But yeah, as a Harry Potter game, I can't really think of like a Harry Potter game that I can say is the best Harry Potter game because it's hard to really talk about that because I would say a lot of those games would have to come out after the movies, and even then, tie-in movie games not really good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, is there what? Uh, I thought about it. I'm like, is there one tie-in movie game that's really good? X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Never played it.
It's it's long. It's longer than it needs to be, but at the same time, it's very gory and very bloody and very fun.
Hmm.
But then you have that. I had that moment of realization of like, this is for a shitty movie. So I don't know. Yeah. So that is it for the news section, I guess. Um I don't know. I think this would be the point of us talking about a game that we both played, but I don't think we played anything recently that can come to mind.
Yeah, I
Uh
haven't really been playing like much variety to be honest.
yeah, it's like even then to completion. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because I would say, oh, let's talk about Neo, but you haven't beaten Neo yet.
No.
No. And I haven't beaten the DLCs technically. I beat the main game, but I didn't beat the DLCs.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm trying to look over to my shelf, see if I have anything. No, I guess we'll try to figure out like something that we played that I can probably like look at my shelf and send you a message.
Mm, yeah.
All right. With that said, Wesley, anything you're looking forward to in this coming year? Any video games, movies, or whatever bullshit?
With video games, from what I just checked, there's nothing really that stands out to me.
All right, so this year is bad. Everybody, good night.
um, I don't know, cause just I haven't like found the same enthusiasm um as I previously did in terms of like movie or games anymore.
Yeah, it's weird. This year has been weird. I think it's solely because of the fact that like a lot of stuff has been delayed. So it's just like not really anything to get worth excited for. On top of that, most stuff that's being released is like re-releases or sequels to like other stuff, so there's not really anything that you can say is brand new. Like That's why I was saying that like Ghostwire Tokyo was like my biggest interest, but
Uh,
after after the
yeah.
reviews and stuff, it's just like nah. Anything else?
Um, just from looking at the list of movies that are supposed to come out this year,
Mm-hmm.
um, Jordan Peele's Nope looked,
Yeah.
um, from when he did A Way Out. No, that's a game.
Get Out.
Yeah, Get Out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, dude, that movie was so good.
Get Out and Us. I prefer Get Out more than Us, to be honest.
I don't think I've seen Us.
It's okay. It's okay.
Didn't he make Keanu too, or was that someone else?
He starred in it, but I don't know if he directed it. Did he direct it? He produced and wrote it.
Yeah, directed. No.
No, different director. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I forgot about Nope.
Um, and then supposedly from the list, Avatar 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. That's still a thing that's happening.
Uh,
James Cameron wants 8 Avatar movies. We're only on Avatar 2, possibly. I don't know. Anything else?
and then with like my whole like interest in like Norse and like Viking lore and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Um, The Northman that comes out next month.
Yeah, with what's his name? Alexander Skarsgård? Big blonde
Uh,
guy?
the main dude,
Yeah.
sure.
Skarsgård? Skarsgård?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the North me. Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually excited for that one too. I forget. I think I saw a director that God damn
Oh
it.
shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, this guy just got shot by an arrow. Oh, sorry, I'm watching the trailer right now.
Jesus Christ. Oh, Robert Eggers. Yes, that's right, Robert Eggers. The guy who did The Witch and The Lighthouse. That's why I was interested in it.
I don't think I saw The Witch. I think it was something that was like tempted to watch.
It's good.
Uh, but no.
I watched it. It's good. I think it's really good. It's very creepy. The only thing is that like the dialogue is very old timey, like very old timey. But like everything that happens around your main character, uh
Oh my god.
Anya Taylor Joy. Yeah, it's good. Oh, his brother's also in it, and Willem Dafoe and Nicole Kid. What? Jesus, they have everyone. They have Anya.
Cause sorry. What?
They have Alexander Skarsgård and Anya Taylor Joy, Bjork, Bill Skarsgård, the brother, the guy who played Pennywise in the new It.
Hmm.
Willem Dafoe, Nicole Kidman. God damn, that's a star-studded cast right there. Uh huh. Go ahead.
What's weird is that from like this these like 30 seconds that I just watched or that I just seen from the trailer,
Mhm.
it kind of seems like has some ties to a Vinland Saga.
Oh yeah, because isn't Vinland Saga like fictional history, historical fiction, kind of?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's gonna coincide with some stuff, obviously.
Or like um I don't know if you ever plan on watching it.
I do actually. I do. I
Okay,
don't know
then never
why.
mind.
Yeah, okay. Because I don't know why I haven't like started up. Because I've been hearing like it's the Viking Berserk.
But yeah,
I'm like, okay, fine, I'll watch it. I guess Berserk makes me sad, especially that guts theme.
Thorfinn. That
It,
reminds me, when is season 2 supposed to come out for this?
oh, I don't know. Don't ask me.
I think
Isn't
it's
the
supposed to be this year.
I was gonna say, did the manga finish?
I don't know.
Okay, because I don't know, because that's just
Oh, oh no.
because I know Attack on Titan wrapped up, right?
I don't know if the manga probably. I don't know if
The
the
the manga did. I read the ending.
yeah. I don't know if
The
the
show.
anime finished.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. No, because like I'm trying to think. I haven't really watched like anime that much. I the last thing I watched was like I think Baki and
Fuck.
yeah, Netflix did this weird thing where it's like there's uh Baki and then there's Baki Hanma, but it's the
Yeah.
sequel. It's so weird. I don't know why they did that, but how Baki ends is pretty cool because they're introducing a character um that's in the manga to be like super strong. Like I don't even know how to explain it because like every dude Baki fights is super strong.
Yeah.
It's so goofy. I think the reason why I like Baki so much is like it reminds me of JoJo with its absurdities of martial arts.
Yeah. And then like how Baki Hanma ends. It's just like you realize that he's not gonna put up with anyone's shit.
Yeah, and is he still dating his girlfriend? I don't think they.
uh, they haven't established anything in the Hanma
Okay, because
because
yeah,
she was
because
never introduced, as far as I know.
no, but she was in Baki with
No,
the
I'm talking
chat.
about Hanma.
Oh, and Hanma. Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. Yeah, because Baki just went to jail.
yeah. Oh my god, oh,
As
that was so
stupid,
good.
as
You
stupid
saw it,
as that's.
right?
Yes, I watched the whole thing.
Oh
I was like, this is
god.
so stupid. I love it.
And then when he made what's his face just like completely terrified. Oh my god, I was like, yes,
Uh,
finally.
Guerrero. I don't forget his name.
I don't know, quote unquote, the strongest fighter in the prison
The
or
the
second strongest.
the pirate, right?
Hmm?
The pirate, right? Do you mean the?
No.
Oh, you mean Oliver Biscuit?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought you meant the
She-
pirate guy, because that was the guy that Oliver Biscuit was like, if he actually tried, he would be stronger.
Wasn't that the guy that was that was like sleeping in the locker?
Yes, the
Yeah,
pirate
that guy
guy.
disappeared.
He
He
was a
was
character,
like, yeah.
and
He
then he
just
just
showed up.
left.
Yep.
Yeah, he
Like,
just left.
oh, so stupid.
I found the strongest person. I did it. Me, pirate
Yep,
man.
yep. And then Baki's like, oh, I want to be unchained too, but not
Ugh.
like you.
I remember that. He's like, I want to be unchained. It's like, yeah, okay.
Oh my
Fucking
god.
idiots. All right, all of you fucking idiots. God. Did you ever see like the like anything leading up to like the newer Baki anime? Like did you check out any of like the old stuff? Cuz technically this anime is a sequel to like the old early 2000s Baki anime.
Nope.
Okay. So like Baki has a half brother. I think he has some half siblings now I think about it. There was a whole thing with his mom and that the reason why like you do you know the reason why he hates his dad so much?
Something to do with his mom, I believe.
Yeah. Do you want me to say it?
I mean, I feel like they explain it in like the Baki anime, but I don't
Did
remember.
they? Okay, yeah. Because I'm trying to remember. Did they explain it? But yeah, essentially, like there was a whole altercation with him and his dad that he was trying to become the strongest because he trained in like all over the world. And then his mom kind of interfered with their altercation, and then essentially she died from like kind of being in between. And
Mm,
his dad could not give a shit less. Like it is legitimately like one of like the most saddest things you can read in the manga because I tried to read the manga a little bit and like it's really fucked up because Baki's like carrying her back to their house and like he's going through like crowded streets and like he's trying to have a conversation with her but in reality it's like all in his head and she's just dead.
mm-hmm.
So it's like damn, like it really fucks you up. But that's basically his whole reason why he kind of hates his dad. Um Yeah, Baki's good. I don't know if Baki's fully done. I don't think so. I think
in
it's
terms of like manga wise.
yeah. I think it has that Hajime no Ippo problem where it's still going. I remember I saw like online people were like, "Bring back Hajime no Ippo." I'm like,
Oh god,
it's
I
like
feel
the
like Evo like ended its course already.
yeah. I think I'm fine where Ippo ended.
Yeah,
It's like the same thing with Hunter x Hunter. Like a lot of people are like demanding Hunter x Hunter to come back.
never saw the full entirety of the actual Hunter x Hunter.
Bro, Hunter x Hunter's so good. I was not expecting it to be that good, but it's so fucking good.
I saw what is it, the 2011 one? That's not the complete one, or is it the 2013?
2011. The one that's technically not complete is like the 1990 version.
Maybe it was that one.
The 1990 version?
Probably.
Yeah, no, the 2011, that's when it came out. It's basically where it ended was fine, but the manga's still going. Like it kind so the problem with Hunter x Hunter is that the manga is in a weird spot because it's doing like this Game of Thrones conspiracy shit, but not with Gon. It's doing with Kurapika, the
Oh,
blonde.
Karapika. Ew.
Yeah. So, but it's pretty much basically Kurapika's journey again because remember,
Ew, gross.
do you remember the whole thing that happened with Kurapika?
K- How you're saying it is bothering me so much.
Kurapika?
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. It's just, I don't know. It's weird.
Kurapika.
It's so weird.
Kuro. Do you want me to say Kuro Pickles? Is that better?
Kuro pickles. Uh,
Kurapika? Kurapika?
Karapika.
Anyways, KP.
There you go.
Kuro.
Impossible.
Kim Possible.
Uh,
Essentially, this arc is supposed to be uh uh him finding the person who has the eyes. You remember that whole story thing?
no.
So Kurapika's
KP.
KP. KP's whole journey is that he's trying to find the people that has the people from his village's eyes because he's the last one.
Mm-hmm.
And where the manga is going is that KP is now a bodyguard for like one of these like royal families that they're intending on setting sail to like the new continent or like the dark continent, which is supposed to be a continent that houses like fucked up shit. Basically establishes that the world of Hunter x Hunter is bigger than we actually thought it is. Uh, so there's like weird bug, gas, stone monsters and evil people out there that are super scary. But I think where it is in the manga is that they're still technically on the boat, and
Mm-hmm.
now, and like I said, it's become this whole Game of Thrones thing where like the royal family is there's different princes and stuff like that. They're trying to like gain power by killing each other off by using their secret ability. So it just becomes like this whole conspiracy thing of like figuring out all right, who's killing who, how can we stop this, and where are the eyes that KP is looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. I saw a video on it of like what is going on now technically, and that's where I'm kind of like saying is that like I don't know if like going back to Hunter x Hunter is such a good idea because it hasn't gone that far.
Mm, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
It's
like after finishing or after watching the one that I've seen, and and I was seeing like tidbits of going
I'm sorry, who?
Gon
Gone.
Gon
Gone. Now you're
Gon.
saying it weird, bro. Why are you saying it like that, bro? His name is Gone.
I didn't know he was gone before. That's crazy.
Gone.
But yeah, so
Call him
Gon,
G.
fine,
Call-
little G, all right.
Uh-huh.
After little G goes like super dark and crazy powerful or whatever.
Oh, you saw
Um,
that clip?
no, I was watching like bits and pieces of that clip, yeah,
Damn
and
it,
I was like,
that's
I
huge
was like,
spoilers.
this never happened in the one I was watching.
Yeah, it goes places.
Yeah, and I was like, wait, I want to see that, but which is the one that I'm supposed to watch?
They go so many. That's the thing. That's why I really liked about Hunter x Hunter is that like it tries to experiment with a lot of things because like season one is obviously just the journey to get like the hunter card, or to become a hunter, and then
Hmm.
season two just becomes something else, and then season three becomes something else, and then season four happens, and I'm like, what is going on? Yeah, it's fucking crazy. Like the author just went to different spots. But I overall enjoyed it because it's, I think first of all with the anime it's done by Madhouse, and Madhouse can do fucking action scenes.
Hmm.
Oh, which reminds me, did you check out Megalobox 2?
Nope.
I gotta check that out. I gotta check that out because I really like Megalobox 1. But yeah, Hunter x Hunter is really good. If you plan on going back, don't watch any more clips because a lot of those clips are just like the good moments, obviously.
I mean, the only ones I've actually seen are him just regular G, and then he starts screaming, and then poof, dark G, and that's it.
You mean every anime where they start screaming and go poof?
Exactly. Like
Uh,
Goku goes ah for like 10
uh,
episodes, and he's like, "Pff, y'all here."
you mean all other G?
Exactly. Older G.
older other G. Oh man, yeah. Hunter is such a fucking ride. I think that's why I really enjoyed it because like, I went in not knowing anything, and I there was a part of me that was just like, I don't know if I can go into another shonen anime. Like I think because at the time I finished JoJo. I think I want to say I want to say part 4 or 5 in the manga. And I was like, I
Hmm.
don't know if I can invest in another shonen anime. And then I was like, you know what, fuck it, I'll just watch Hunter x Hunter. And then I watched it, and I'm like, okay, this is kind of neat. And then as and as soon as I get to like season 4, I'm singing the fucking like anime intro every time. I was like, it's so good, it's so good. Like it can be like, I know like some people don't really like the huge eyes and the anime visuals, but
Hmm.
like, as fun as Hunter x Hunter is, I could give two shits less. It's like Danganronpa. Danganronpa, some people don't like the art, but like the overall story for Danganronpa is still fucking a good ass time.
It's weird.
Yeah, it's a very weird art style, but yeah. Eh. Um yeah, anime good. So anything else you got?
Anime's dope.
Yeah.
Oh, whatchamacallit, I didn't like advertently get him into this, but my cousin is like watching Bleach.
Bletch?
Yeah, Bleach.
Why are you saying bleach? You mean bletch?
Yeah, Bleach.
Uh-huh.
Um, we were watching it at some point, and he was like, I mean, I warned him. I was like, it's gonna start off really slow
Yeah.
because it's
And
like one of those shows.
it doesn't end well.
Yeah.
Like that's the sad thing about Bleach. It doesn't end well.
Spoilers. Oh gosh.
I mean,
There's
hey man, if you're gonna invest your time into it, kind
yeah.
of, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially if it's a finished product, you kind of have to kind of do your research to see like, did it at least end well?
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah. Bleach is a weird one because I remember I tried getting into it, but I didn't as much, which is interesting because you would think like another shonen thing would kind of hit home with me, but for some reason it didn't. I think because at the same time I saw like some episodes of Bleach on Adult Swim back in the day.
Hmm.
But I think overall I was just waiting for like the episode of Full Metal Alchemist because Full Metal Alchemist was just like everything I got forward to, and like especially like the 2000s, like the early 2000s, not even Brotherhood, the early 2000s, Full Metal Alchemist.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Bleach is weird, but man, the what happened to it at the end is really a shame. It's a real shame. I think a video you should check out, if you don't really care about the ending of Bleach, is Super Eye Patch Wolf's Bleach video. I forget what it's called, but he pretty much explains like kind of the decline of Bleach in a way. So yeah, it's sad. It's really sad. There's a part of me that wants to like restart my subscription to Crunchyroll.
I
Uh
I cancel it and start it up all the time.
I know I did it and I was like, I don't know if I keep paying for anime. But you know, there was this one other anime that I wanted to check out called Odd Taxi because a lot of people were really liking it. Odd Taxi, My Hero, I'm like, I don't even know where I am at this point with My Hero.
Mhm.
And I feel like My Hero at this now is like still kind of slow, like nothing's really happened.
Has there been a new season with My Hero?
I feel like there has been. I think there is a season 5.
Well, besides 5?
I don't know. I think a movie. Oh wait, I think a movie came out though.
Yeah.
Yeah, a movie came out for it. And then I did get into Demon Slayer, but we had a whole conversation about that, about Demon Slayer stopping.
Yep.
Um.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
The Jujutsu Kaisen movie came out.
Jujutsu Kaisen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zero.
yeah. I heard good things. I've yet to watch the show. I'm kind of interested in it.
It's so good.
Yeah, I'm kind of interested in it, but who cares? 'Cause
Damn.
Bucky is a grappler.
You got a fighting panda. Like,
Grap-
come on.
Grappler Bucky.
No, fighting panda.
What about that time he fought that pirate man to become the strongest? Because that pirate man shook that spoon so hard it bent.
Cool. He disappeared in the next episode, so you know.
Oh, and then Biscuito Oliver was like, "I'm going to roll in my armadillo form, and you can't punch me, and then I'll vor you."
Yeah. But I still can't
Fuck,
like
is so stupid.
what's I still find weird about Biscuit is um like he was like the only reason he got like all those muscles and like super strong
Mhm.
is to carry his wife.
It's very sweet, I guess.
It is,
Yeah.
but it's
God.
like kind of strange too.
Yeah, it's very dumb. It's very dumb. Oh, that's what I was watching. I was watching JoJo. I was watching part 6 because it's on Netflix.
Of course.
Yeah. It's I told you about that. Like JoJo's running really weird. Like it's going pretty fast.
Hmm.
But it's still hitting all like the main stuff. It's I don't know, it's very weird. Like part 5 took a while, but part 6 is like going at like a fucking crazy ass speed. Um but yeah, part 6 of JoJo I was watching, and then I was watching Cowboy Bebop. I have yet to finish the last 2 episodes of it. Even though it's a rewatch. I don't know why I can't finish it, cuz there's that part of me in the back of my head that like I'm going to watch the live action series with my cousin.
Hmm.
She still has to finish watching the anime, so she has a little bit more context. But man, I don't know if I can watch that live action. Because you heard about the news about it, right?
I don't follow JoJo.
Huh?
I don't follow it.
No, Cowboy Bebop.
No. Well, what? Oh, the live action?
Yes.
No, I don't really follow it.
Okay, it got canceled
Oh, Jesus.
after 1 season.
Oh, of course.
I'm very that's the thing, is that like my curiosity has peaked. It's like, all right, why? I mean, first of all, there's gonna be like the anime fans that are like, you know, super pissed about it, but at the same time, it's just like they were really trying to build this up as like the resurrection of Cowboy Bebop, which is I don't know. I don't know if like doing a live action series of a beloved anime was such a good idea. Because
Yeah.
so far, no one has made a good one. Like oh my god, I completely forgot about the Full Metal Alchemist live action. I I kind of want to watch it. I gotta find it if it's still on Netflix, but I kind of want to watch it. Um, yeah, there was also the JoJo one by Takeshi Miike, which is still fucking weird because it was just part 4 of JoJo, and they were planning on doing a part 3 afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I I don't I don't know. I don't. And there's that Bleach one. Speaking of Bleach, there's that live action Bleach movie.
Oh my god, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, and it's the guy who's playing Ichigo is he played a Kamen Rider. That's how I know him. I was like, oh wait, isn't that the guy that played Kamen Rider Forze? Like, oh shit. But
You and your fruit Power Rangers.
they're not fruit, bro. Kamen Rider Forze is a rocket ship. All right, power. I was about to say Power Ranger Gaim. Kamen Rider Gaim is the fruits. Get your facts straight, bro. Check yourself.
Exactly.
Check yourself before you wreck yourself. All right. So yeah, anything else? Because we went on a tangent about anime.
Not that I know of.
All right. Anything I'm looking forward to now that I'm thinking about it? Nothing really. Like those games. Well, specifically Stranger of Paradise was the one that I pointed out that I'm kind of interested in.
Mm-hmm.
But I can wait, possibly. As for movies, I wanted to see the Batman, but I kind of don't care.
Mm-hmm.
I just think Zoe Kravitz is hot. That's it. That's
Oh
it.
my god. I need to fact check this real quick. Hold on.
Fact checked what?
Something that I was gonna say, but I don't want to make sure.
Okay. Speaking of superhero movies,
That's okay. Cool. Mm-hmm.
I finally watched No Way Home.
Oh my god!
I
Finally. Oh yeah, I
fin
saw that. I saw that you posted it on.
I finally watched it. It made me sad at the end.
Yeah.
It makes me fucking depressed for Spider-Man. Yeah, No Way Home was really fun. That's the thing is that like I don't give a shit about any of the other Marvel movies, but for some reason Spider-Man I really enjoy.
Cause like that's the OG.
Yeah, because it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Um, what is coming? Oh yeah, Doctor Strange, the Doctor Strange
Mm-hmm.
movie. I
Doctor
forget.
Strange with the Midverse.
Yeah, Doctor Strange and the TV shows. What is it again? It's Moon Knight and who else?
Moon Knight.
Oh, Miss Marvel. Miss Marvel.
Oh,
That's
man.
Kamala Khan. Yeah,
Oh, right. Yeah.
we spoke about this. Like, I don't give a fuck about the fucking shows.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I got into Loki, and Loki was kind of meh at the end. It was funny going on like Twitter, and people were like, "Oh my god, Loki ended crazy," and I'm just like, "Yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess. I don't know." WandaVision was pretty good. Um, and then people were talking about Hawkeye, and I didn't watch anything of Hawkeye. But all I know is nice to see some of the actors from Daredevil from Netflix be in the Marvel universe now.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. What else did the Winter Soldier and Falcon. Well, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, I think it's called. That was
Yeah.
meh as well. And then even then, like a lot of the Disney stuff, specifically like the other properties that they bought, like I don't really care about Marvel. Star Wars is also a weird one because like I really enjoyed the Mandalorian season 1, and then season 2 how it ended was it's one of those things where it's like you really dug yourself a hole because now like you're part of the movie universe now. Um, and then what I've heard about Boba Fett, apparently Boba Fett was pretty good at the beginning, and then how it ended was not great. Um, and now Obi-Wan is coming out. I like I like Ewan I was gonna say Ewan McGregor. Uh, I like Ewan McGregor, Obi-Wan, but I don't care, man. And this is the problem: is that like fucking Disney has like oversaturated the market with like nostalgia shit,
Yep.
and that's
Like turning nostalgia into like shows.
they're turning nostalgia into profit. That's what it is. It's nostalgia profit, and I don't want to be the guy that picks on someone for enjoying a thing because obviously I have dumb shit that I enjoy, but at the same time, they do it so much. They do it so much, and it sucks because Disney has become the fucking monopoly of everything.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know. Uh, anything else I'm excited for? Well, I'm probably gonna check out like other movies that I have like lined up in my on my Netflix listing because I do intend to watch Monster with Charlize Theron, where she plays a serial killer that existed in like the 90s or like early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's interesting too because it's one of those movies where like she's like unrecognizable, like Charlize Theron. Like you know how hot that lady is, right?
Not no idea you're talking about.
Charlize Theron.
Yeah.
Yeah. That lady hot. But in the movie she does like such a drastic transformation. It's nuts. Like she's almost unrecognizable. Uh it's like Christian Bale when he did oh my god. I guess The Machinist and did I finish that movie? I don't think I did. And when he played Dick Cheney. That's what it was. Where Christian Bale looked so unrecognizable that it's just like, whoa. And I think he actually put on weight too for that role for Dick Cheney. Yeah, so I'll probably be checking out like more stuff that's on my list or like whatever I plan on watching. Probably more Korean dramas and stuff like that. Not like specifically like Korean romantic dramas, like probably actual drama shows because there was one that I saw that was kind of interesting. Like about like Korean politics and stuff like that. Uh and yeah, video games nothing, books nothing, movies not really anything kind of. Whatever happened to that Donnie Yen Sleeping Dogs movie? That never happened.
No.
Yeah, that's a shame. And Donnie Yen's doing like other fucking like weird shit. God. I don't know. I think I've kind of like pushed myself away from Donnie Yen because after fucking Ip Man 4. Ip Man 4 was not a good movie.
I mean, supposedly. Well, uh,
Oh, that's what I was supposed to watch. The third movie to the Chapeau Long series, Paradox. I don't know if it's still on, if it's still free on YouTube. Killzone.
yeah.
Yeah, that first movie is still really good with Donnie Yen and Wu Jing fighting in that alley, and then Killzone 2 is really good where Wu Jing and Tony Jaa fight that one dude. Yeah, I like it when they fight.
Um. So for Sleeping Dogs, wait, I'm confused. Seems like it's not a thing.
Oh, it's not a thing?
Um, like there, I think that Donnie Yen's being told that it'll happen in the future.
Oh, Jesus. All right. So it's just speculation?
Yeah,
Damn, that
but
sucks.
Donnie Yen's still hopeful that it'll become a thing, supposedly.
I mean, it's basically Flashpoint. As far as I remember, Flashpoint. That's another Donnie Yen movie. I don't know if he plays an undercover cop, but he essentially just fucks other dudes' shit up. That's Donnie Yen in a nutshell.
That's, yeah, that's literally all he does.
Yeah, I really want to watch like a good like martial arts flick. Like I said, like Killzone 2 was still really good. Obviously the Raid. Fuck, I still got to get the Raid on Blu-ray. Uh, sorry. I still want to see Paradox because apparently that's just Tony Jaa, which is interesting.
Ooh, Tija.
Yeah, Tony Jaa is a fucking gem.
Yeah, I've been trying to find places to watch On Bach again because I'm like, I really want to watch that movie again. But
Prime had it, but it's now gone.
yeah,
Yeah.
like no one has it now, and it's kind of upsetting.
Yeah. Unbox is good. The Protector is still really good. Uh I have yet to try I remember I tried watching like the Anbach 2, but I didn't get into it because I forgot that like it's supposed to take place like like fucking like centuries ago in like
Yep.
old Thailand.
Yep. I remember I
Um
saw it. I don't remember what happens. So don't you?
it was so weird to make that jump of just like now it takes place in the past and it's like
Yep.
what? I was like okay, I guess. Um but I remember I think the beginning of this year I watched some of the Shaw brothers like old like 70s martial arts flicks.
Mm.
I rewatched the Five Deadly Venoms or the Five Venoms, and the Kid with the Golden Arm, uh, and Crippled Avengers. That's the other one I watched. Crippled Avengers is pretty good. It's a pretty good martial arts movie. I should really check out more of the Shaw Brothers stuff. Because the choreography in those old 70s movies is phenomenal, man. Like the Crippled Avengers is I think that's one of the best choreographies of like martial arts scenes I've seen in a while. That's the thing about like those old movies is that they were specifically for like showmanship and
Hmm.
stuff like that. So it's a very fun martial arts movie. Not a great name, but still fun movie. So yeah, I think that's it. So you want to plug in your where people can follow you, Wesley?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, for me, I stream over on Twitch. I'll probably edit the Twitch name probably somewhere around here. I stream over on Twitch. I'm gonna be starting up two games. One I already have confirmed, which is a JRPG. It's gonna be Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga 2. Uh, and I gotta figure out what the next game is because I only got till tomorrow. But yeah,
Nice.
I'm be streaming on Twitch, and then also that's it. Yeah, that's it. I'm trying to think like should I put down my Twitter? Nah. My Twitter's just filled with hentai. All right. So
Jesus.
yeah. So on that note, Wesley, this has been an interesting conversation. I
That took
guess
like 70 hours. Yeah.
it's 3 hours, bro. Calm down. Calm your nuts.
Uh,
Calm your nuts. But yeah, I probably have to make a list of stuff that a video game that we can actually talk about and go in lengths with. Besides some new stuff and other shit. I still have to figure out a name for this thing, this podcast.
mhm.
Because I still have not come up with a name. But we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right. Thanks for listening and or watching. Bye bye. Thanks, Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah.